hear myself through my headphones. Yes, man. Like, I feel real good about this right now.
Pay attention, because you are now listening to Permission to Speak Freely.
I messed up. I wasn't recording no video, man.
Man.
And we so for the topics, right? We probably gonna get right into them, but I do want to start because we made an exception for for football logos for this episode. We made an exception for the ball caps, right?
Man, y'all out of control, bro.
Because my team my team won a Super Bowl, man. And then David coming out here looking like an offensive coordinator.
he really do look OC for real.
Yeah,
double, man. Hey, hey, you guys don't understand, man. When we first started out, man, I had a ball cap every day. I had 49, I had Mississippi. Then me and Dumbo had a conversation, and like, nope, I had to get rid of that shit. And now, when Dumbo said, "Hey, you got the opportunity to wear something," shit, I came all the way in, man. You should see my socks.
I was about to say, I'm sure you got.
Hey, man, y'all out of control, bro.
I know you got a San Fran socks. I got some Eagle socks in the back. But hey, we're going to get into that later, man. Hey, y'all, Damon back. We're going to get into that later. Coby here with us, though. Not a guest this time. He just here with us, just shooting the shit with us. But we're going to get right into it. When y'all hear this news, it's going to be a couple days ago. But for us, it was just last night, man. And it kind of rocked us because first, I heard about the chairman of the Joint Chief of Staff getting fired. A couple days ago, it was on the news. Like I saw their faces plastered on the news, and they were saying this might happen, it might come. But if you've been following, just as SecDef been, on the trail to become SecDef, you kind of knew his disposition or his position with Chairman of Joint Chief of Staff and a CNO. So yesterday, boom, Chairman Joint Chief of Staff fired. Right, it was like earlier in the day. And I was looking to see, like, oh shit, so CNO might be next. Then boom, it happened, right? So CNO was fired. And I want to say, now, Coby, like, that means it's no retirement or nothing, right? It's nothing like that for her, right?
No. They'll still statutorily be able to retire, man. That's a given, man. Especially they've both gone over the requisite number of years for service. So absolutely, yeah, they'll be able to retire.
Okay, so she have a retirement ceremony, just kind of out of the position. And
low key, yeah, but yeah, no doubt.
Okay, yeah. So, boom, both of them fired, removed from the position. Like you said, they both put a lot of. I think the chairman of Joint Chief of Staff joined the military before I was born. Like his
right,
was like
85. 84. I think when I looked at it, yeah, 1985. Yeah. He enlisted. I mean. People wouldn't even, a lot of the people that are serving in the service right now weren't even alive. So yeah, 40 years of service is to end like that is kind of crazy.
Yeah, he put a lot of time in. All right, but before we get to him, I want to talk a little bit about the CNO. Just going over a couple things that she did and, just to kind of send her off the right way from Permission to Speak Freely. So she was born in 1964. We talked about that already. Admiral Frank Eddy. Rochester, New York. She went to Northwestern. She graduated in 1985, before I was born, with a Bachelor of Science in Journalism. She commissioned NROTC. She went to the Naval War College, earned a Master's of Arts in National Security and Strategic Studies. Then she got a degree from the University of Phoenix. It was a Master's in Organizational Management. Shout out to the University of Phoenix. My mom got a degree from the University of Phoenix. So when you in there working and you got a full-time job, you know what you got to do. You might have to go hit up University of Phoenix and get your education.
Yeah, man.
I ain't judging where nobody get their education from, man. Get that degree. So she got a master's from there. Naval career highlight. She was a SWO, of course, designated in 1989. 20 years of operational at-sea experience. She CO with a USS Ross, DDG-71, Destroyer Squadron 21, Commodore. She embarked on a John C. Stennis, CVN-74, U.S. Naval Forces Korea. She was commander, Carrier Strike Group 9 and 15 commander, 6th Fleet commander from 2018 to 2020. And that's operations in Europe and Africa. Staff and shore assignments for her, Joint Staff J5, Director of Strategy, Plans, and Policy. Deputy Chief of Naval Operations for Warfighting and Development. So that's N7, just the second person to hold that position. She was the military assistant for the Secretary of the Navy. Historic achievements, Vice CNO, assumed the role in September 2022. CNO became the 33rd CNO on November 2nd, 2023. Also, just to note, June 2024, diagnosed with early stage breast cancer, successfully treated, declared cancer-free by September 2024. And of course, February 21, 2025, relieved of her position as CNO by the SecDef during a significant overhaul of Pentagon leadership. And I want to talk about, before I shut up and open it up for Coby and Damon, I do want to talk about some of the things that she either like led, incentivized, or was on the cutting edge of. Unmanned systems and technology. So she was big on that, right? A lot of people, we know about the NAV plan and stuff like that, or we know about Culture of Excellence 2.0, and a lot of people don't know or pay that much attention to some of this other stuff. So she's been an advocate for unmanned systems into naval, like incorporating unmanned systems into naval operations. A lot of technology, innovating task groups. She launched a junior officer-led task group. She also Project Overmatch. She instrumental in advancing Project Overmatch, and that's an initiative designed to enhance fleet-wide connectivity and achieve decision superiority at machine speed. Then, of course, the NAV Plan 2024 and Project 33. And the NAV Plan 2024 is the navigation plan for America's warfighting Navy, which focuses on readiness for possible engagements with China in 2027. Project 33, and that's 7 core fleet readiness targets aimed at enhancing maintenance efficiency, scaling autonomous systems, and improving training protocols. Empowering junior officers. She fostered a culture of initiative and bold experimentation within the Navy, getting junior officers to lead innovation groups like the one we just talked about earlier. And recruitment and retention. Our numbers are high this year, right? We got good numbers this year. We actually kicking ass when it comes to recruiting and retention this year. So, and she plays a part in that for sure. And then, of course, Culture of Excellence 2.0, refined that, made that a whole lot better, good, better, best, everything that we're talking about with that. And she also, the last thing I got to say about her was she made enlisted leader development a priority of hers. Like, she jumped in on that and made sure that people took that serious as far as like COs and ICOs and stuff like that. Not every admiral we see like connect to something like that. So I thought that was kind of dope too. And that's all I got as far as her achievements and her career history.
Yeah, man. Hey, I got something like, my take is, man, I want people to soak this in for a little bit, man, is the fact of how much work she had to put in to be the freaking CNO, man. Like, I want that, like, soak in. All the stuff Dumbo just named out, man. Like, it's crazy when it comes to becoming the CNO, right? She didn't get picked because she was this or that. She got picked because she put the work in, right? The other side of it is, man, the power she had, man, of like, first, just being a woman, being the first, right? When you being the first of anything, it's also just huge to me, man. I look at it, especially her being a woman. But also, man, on the last thing I'm gonna say about it, Dumbo and Coby, is I hope she's getting the help she need, man. This is her life, right? This is her life, doing this job, doing this work that she been doing for 40 years. When something happened abruptly, sometimes like this, man, sometimes we don't think about her or think about what they going through now. So I hope she's getting some type of help talking to people also, because this is what she's been doing her whole life. She may not even know anything else, Like me, I joined the Navy at 18. I don't know anything else. I had like one little weak ass job before I came in. What I mean? So I don't know anything else, man, but this. So I hope everybody, she get the help she needs and talk through this, man, because she's a warrior, man, and she always going to be, looked at as, the first woman to do this, to be the CNO, and she great job, and we're gonna miss her, man.
Hey, Damon, I'm gonna jump right in real quick. A little contingency, not really nothing crazy, but I specifically didn't highlight that she was the first woman on anything. I'm gonna just tell y'all why I didn't. Because that's like, I feel like in some ways or some areas of avenue being like weaponized against her. So I didn't highlight that, even though in a lot of rooms, that's a significant thing because of why it's a significant thing. I ain't even gonna get into why it's a significant thing. But everything she did is significant, whether she was a lady or a man. Like all of those accomplishments are fucking incredible, yo. So I just ain't want to put that asterisk. Personally, it was a personal choice not to put that asterisk on it because everything she did is just fire in itself. So
no, 100%,
yeah,
100%.
And I will add to that too, man. Having served with both her and Admiral Michelle Howard, both of them broke glass ceilings, right? Because, Admiral Howard also served as VCNO, but obviously she didn't make it to the level of CNO, which Admiral Franchetti did. And I was looking this morning, man, if you go back and look at it, at Title 10, which lays out the stipulations for the position and how they'll be voted in by Senate, and they're the president's nominee, so on and so forth. If you look at that statute, it hadn't been updated in years, obviously, but it says he. You know what I'm saying? So again, if you look at that from a microcosm level, you'll see that, again, there's things that have been changed historically. And again, that'll change in the future. This is the presidency we have for the next 4 years. And then after that, who knows what might happen, right? But both of them have storied careers. So I'm glad you brought up her bio for sure.
Yeah, I wanted to highlight that. Also, I want to highlight General Charles Brown Jr., not as connected with him as the chairman of the Joint Chief of Staff, because we've seen the CNO a lot. Like we've seen the CNO a lot. And I'm at a time in my career right now where I pay a lot more attention to the CNO, and just the moves she make, the things she put out. It's a lot of people that probably don't still. Some of the junior sellers don't really pay. They probably don't. Some of them probably don't really know what's going on.
They will for the sale of the quarter board.
Yeah, you gotta know, right? You gotta say something. I know who it is, yo.
You gotta know who it is.
But so I'm gonna talk about General Charles CQ Brown Jr. real quick. Then I got a couple questions, couple things to think about, couple things to kind of talk about. So he graduated from Texas Tech University in '84, distinguished grad from Air Force ROTC program. He was the Chief of Staff of the Air Force, 22nd Chief of Staff of the Air Force, prior to becoming the chairman, commander of Pacific Air Forces, F-16 instructor, historic milestones from him, chairman of the Joint Chief of Staff, of course, same day, again, relieved of his duties. And a couple things that he innovated, a couple milestones of his was Accelerate Change or Lose initiative. As Chief of Staff for the Air Force, he launched Accelerate Change or Lose directive, emphasizing the necessity for the Air Force to rapidly adapt to evolving global threats. Somebody from the Air Force could probably dig a lot more into that, but it was talking about speed, innovation, and efficiency within the service. Command experience and leadership. He commanded a fighter squadron, Air Force Weapons School, 2 fighter wings, and he served twice as a combined Joint Air Component commander. He commanded U.S. Air Force Central Command, Pacific Air Commands, and oversee critical operation in the Middle East and Indo-Pacific regions. In 2020, he became the first African American to serve as the Chief of Staff for the Air Force. That's true, right?
Right.
Facts, bro. That's facts.
Yeah, and then he, okay. And then he was the chairman of the Joint Chief of Staff in 2023. He had a period like after the George Floyd incident that he kind of spoke out about some stuff, and I think that was during his time that he was being placed into his position. That was meant with some contingency. Some people had some issues with that. So he was a voice for a lot of things that had to do with that. He was a command pilot. He accumulated over 2,900 flying hours, included more than 120 combat hours. It says his hands-on experience in various aircraft has informed his strategic decisions and operational leadership. So, a lot of stuff here, big resume here. Another leader that a lot of people seem like on Facebook, like I said, I don't know much about him. Again, the Air Force people do, but a lot of people got a lot of love for this guy too.
Hey, you know what, Dubbo? You know what I think about, man, with both the CNO also and him? I think sometimes we lose this a little piece of it, man, when we think about it, because they standing on business though. You know what I mean? Whatever they believed in, they went. It seemed like if that's the case, I don't know why they got fired. I don't know all that stuff, but I feel like whatever they believed in, they believed in. If they want to talk up for whatever situation, they did that. They didn't hide behind anything, and they didn't say this. They said what they had to say. They did what they had to do, and if that's what got them fired, I think they could sleep at night. You know what I mean? Knowing they was who they are, and they believed in whatever they believed in. But I'm not sure. I don't know all the facts yet, so I don't know.
Yeah, I mean that's been a thing that's going on in my head as far as like now, no matter what side of the fence somebody lean on, right? But if you a leader and you in like the highest position of leadership, and some decision get made or some kind of guidance get put out, and it ain't something that you could kind of sit with, like what decision would you make in that that position of leadership? Like I said, we don't know, and that again, that don't matter what side you lean on. Different people, got different points of view. My question for y'all is, can you salute? So what we just did pretty much was just highlight their careers. Kind of Coby has some personal connections with them and stuff like that. My question for y'all is, can you salute a leader's transition in career without people assuming that you got like a political connection or belief?
No, 1,000%, man. Just having worked on the joint staff, and just to give you a little history, when I retired from the joint staff, and not only was I serving in the PA shop, but I was also serving as a senior enlisted leader for the Navy staff, and the makeout of the joint staff is more so outside of the building with the joint forces than it is inside the building, right? Because if you see the Navy, the Army and Marine Corps, Air Force, Space Force, so on and so forth, they have a bigger footprint in the building, whereas the joint staff, we're more of a small knit family with the J codes and the different JADers, right? But in saying that, when Chairman Milley left and Chairman Brown took over, you could feel the change and the shift in the leadership the moment that he took over. And, every time that a new leader comes in, that's always going to be that way. No matter who it is, you're going to always have the angst when it comes to what the new leadership is and what their direction is for the soldiers, airmen, Marines, guardians, so on and so forth, right? So how do you embrace that, right? So each person is individually touched. Some people may have been like, no, I was more a proponent of Chairman Milley. Mm-hmm. Some people might be like, no, we needed a new, refreshing leadership with General Brown. And, regardless of how you took it, just because of the fact that you just got through stating this man's story career, the leadership and everything that he's got, he's earned, right? So yes, 100% on the way out the door. Yes, you 100% have to salute. It has nothing to do with politics. It has to do with the people that serve with that leader and how they were affected and touched by that leadership style during that person's tenure.
Yeah, some people got like inspiration from these people, motivation. Like I've been looking at so many comments on social media and all that, and people like taking some political stance or some opinionated approach, man. Right. People have been connected to these leaders for the last 2 years, year and a half, however long they've been in. Right. And some of that don't got nothing to do with politics or no personal. Like I had a chance to personally meet the CNO, and she was the meeting we had was dope. And I don't even know her political I never knew how she thought about politically. Like, that's not the reason why, I want to salute her on the way out and say, damn, good job well done. Thanks for your contributions. It don't got nothing to do with that. You know what I mean? That's just personal, what personally sparked in me listening to her talk. It don't got shit to do with nothing else. So yeah, so definitely salute to both of them on their way, on their way out, and looking forward to see whatever, great things that they still do, or if they just gonna ride it out. Over 30, over 40 years in the military, you might just want to grab a beach chair and chill, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, hey, my portion of that, man, is like, I think it's the individual when it comes to saluting them, though, man. If you put it on social media, man, stand by, right? Stand by. That's just what it is, man, because it's clickbait, man. It's like we feed on negative shit.
Yeah.
Right? That's what we do. We feed on the negative. So as soon as I see that, I'm like, oh, they must be with this political party. Automatically, don't know me from nobody, but automatically, that's what it is, man. So it's the individual person, man, like on what you want to do and how you salute them and how you congratulate them. And on top of that, you have to have this thing in you that I don't care what nobody say.
Yeah.
Because if you put it on social media, they coming after you, bro.
Yeah, that's why I don't post. That's why I don't post my shit on social, bro. People be getting phone calls. Like, first of all, I'm anti-social. You're not gonna call my phone to talk to me about something that I posted on social media, dog. You're not. You know what I mean? Like, people been getting phone calls and having conversations. Like, I'm podding. The most you about to get from me is on the pod, bro.
Nah, it ain't that serious, bro.
Hey, Dumbo, they post something. Then after the post, they'll say something on my post if you want
to. Somebody asked me, they said, yo, do people call you about like what you say on the pod? I said, hell no. It ain't better. No, I'm not about to talk to you about what I said on no pod, dog. Like,
you already know the moment you start posting, they're going to start screenshotting and sending it up line. And like, come on, bro. Like, chill out, man.
And bro, Coby, I'm not informed enough to form political opinions. Like, I never act like I was all into this. The most I paid attention to what the hell going on. It affect my people and, stuff like that. But I'm not informed about that politics shit. I'm not about the debate. No, it was this one dude on my last, on the shit me and Damon was on, we used to debate. And he used to come with all this, like factual political shit. I used to just come with like straight like hood shit. Mandatory, mandatory minimums. Like, nah, people should have never got them. You know what I mean? Like,
you had to taper it down.
Yeah, but he had in accordance with Plessy Blur, I'm like, I don't know nothing about none of that. Like, a dude shouldn't go to jail for a nickel bag of weed. That's what I know. You know?
Yeah, 100%.
To continue on about firings, it was also announced that 5,400 probationary employees would be fired. And that's, I don't know how much. So for me, it's been a long week, y'all. Like, just in my role at the command, it's just been, and a lot of it has been me processing too. I'm a sailor, you know what I mean? So like, I've been a sailor for the last 17 years or whatever. A lot of the civilian aspect of me being a leader, I'm learning how to do that from other people and stuff like that. Learning how to weigh it, how to, like, this civilian issue weighs as much to me as a sailor issue. And I actually had a moment in time that mattered just last week. And it was a conversation, and it involved my captain, but it was a moment in time where I had to weigh a sailor. I had an OG CMC tell me, hey, if it's a sailor issue, you don't put nothing above that. If you got to be late for a meeting, if you got to not show up to a place, hey, I was dealing with a sailor issue. And if somebody don't understand that, it's something wrong with them. It was a moment in time this week where I had to weigh some of that thinking. And again, I'm not about to give you none of my opinions or beliefs. I'm going to give you the reality of what's going on and how people actually feel. So DOD terminating 5,400 probationary employees next week, right? We thought it was going to happen this week. They paused it for a second next week, and that's going to be followed by a hiring freeze. And it says probationary employees who are in their initial service period lacking full civil service protections, right? So the DoD workforce is a critical blend of military and civilians. We work together. We maintain readiness, of course. How this might impact support services and directly contribute to mission readiness. From my point of view and what I see is the people that jobs are kind of on the line, they hold critical positions at our command. And there's nobody to do it. So now we're about to be into the whole somebody is doing somebody else's job because there's nobody else there to do it. And it might be one person doing the work of like 3 different people.
Right.
You know, but it's happening soon and people are sad. It was tears shed last week at work.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Hey, let me tell you my thought process, man. And I ain't been here. So it's kind of crazy because I don't know what was said and what haven't been said. But the only thing I really like be caring about, man, is a plan. You know what I mean? If we doing stuff, let me see where we going with it, right? Send stuff out to me. Let me see this. Where are we going with this? That's what kills me. I'm in the military. I'm following orders, whole 9, whatever the case may be. But bro, let me know what the hell going on though. You know what I mean? Right. Let me be able to back you a little bit. Let me be able to say some stuff in front of the meetings, then say, this is what's happening because of this, because of that. I don't have none of that. That's my problem, bro. That's my problem right there, man.
Nobody got it. Like admirals don't got it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's my problem.
So both of y'all are senior enlisted leaders, and having served in the senior enlisted leader role, you kind of touched on it, Damo. We got to make sure that we're protecting our sailors, right? And we got to make sure we're keeping them informed. But at the same time, we're also receiving feedback from them because in the time and era that we're in right now, information is moving at the speed of sound, right? And so when I say that, I'm saying that in the sense of, say, for instance, you got a first class that comes in and like, hey, my wife is about to lose her job. She works for the government. Well, there's policies in place to protect that wife or that husband that's in that position that you as a leader have to know about, right? Because you don't know every answer. But we have to be able to ensure that we're giving them the correct information, not just being like, oh, this is the end. I'm sorry for you. I wish there's something I could do for you. Well, there is something you can do for them. You can dig a little bit deeper into those policies and ensure that if they are co-located, if the government did bring them here based on X, Y, and Z, that we're looking into these policies, ensuring that we're giving all that we got. Because, you as a leader may be different from squadron down the street as a leader, and you may be breaking, barriers by going the extra mile, whereas they may have not done that, right? So, yeah, you spot on, man. When we're taking care of our sailors, we got to look at the holistic big picture and not just say, oh, I'm sorry, what can I do to help?
Yeah. I mean, one of the things right now is with the digging deep, man. You could be digging deep on Monday about something halfway through the deep dive, and then on Tuesday it's something new to dig deep about. You're like, damn, I'm still digging deep into the last thing, man. What's going on, man?
100%.
Because some of this stuff is unprecedented. Or it's happened before and but it's unprecedented for some of us, right? So some of this stuff you do gotta go look up. You gotta go figure it out. I still will always champion ChatGPT for people. It'll help you pull out information. You still need to go get other places, but ChatGPT will kind of speed up, the process for you. But yeah, definitely, man. Dig deep, be the support, push out information. Me personally, like my personal opinion is to keep everybody informed as well as you can. Me personally, I shy away from my personal thoughts. As far as like, I honestly, just to be honest, I don't have a lot of personal thoughts about political things just because I don't have personal thoughts about political things, period. That's just not who I am. But I shy away from a lot of the personal thoughts, number one, because I'm a leader of a multitude of people. So the people I lead got varying opinions. So it's no reason for me to get up here and alienate like half of my people. Like that just don't make no sense. It's not even my job to alienate half of my people. My job is to support all of my people, right? So just put out the information that people need, and And as people, my thing would be if you come talk to me one-on-one and you might want to be personal and vent, I could open the door for that. But I'm never getting on a 1MC and hollering out, no personal thoughts, man. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I guess one of the biggest things is this, like, how do you keep your team motivated when the environment around them changes? Damon.
Yeah, man. Hey, that alone, man, is what we do though. Right? That's what we do. We got to keep going. We still have a mission. And that's kind of where you got to go with it, man. You have to go to our job, our mission, and things like that. Things are going to get tough. And like you said, if somebody want to have a closed door conversation, let's have a closed door conversation. But at the same time, we all still have a job to do. We need to get it done. To keep them motivated, man. Like whoever you got to have that personal connection when it comes to that too, to know what motivates somebody to get the job done when it comes to what's in it for me. You know that what's in it for me stuff. You got to kind of like you got to kind of like motivate like that, man, because it is hard times right now. Things are changing right now. But I think the key to it all, man, is not being scared to talk about it though. Don't go in your office and close the door. You know what I mean? And just wait for something to happen. No, you get in front of it. Yeah. You get in front of it. You talk about it. And like you said, Damo, it don't have to be personal. You know what I mean? You don't have to make it personal. But go out there and make sure you stay ahead of it, man.
Yeah, my man said him and his wife, they both of their jobs at risk. He was on probation. He just got a job. Both of their jobs at risk. They got a young kid, a mortgage, a whole bunch of others. So that's another aspect of it all too. It's like, it's people with real lives, like actual things they're going through. You know what I mean? Another thing is, some of the stuff I was looking at, I was looking at some of that stuff that had to do with Social Security and all that. I'm not going to act like some of these people, I'm not going to act like, and this ain't with the government, like with the DOD, like the people I'm around per se, but I've been places where people was just collecting paychecks. Like it might not be the best time to say that, but I've been places where people was just collecting paychecks.
You keeping it a buck, man. Yeah, it's true.
Some people, like some of y'all, and now you wonder why you on the block. Some people that was just collecting paychecks, bro. Like, I'm gonna give an example. It was a person at when they first stood up DEI, right? When they first stood DEI up, it was a dude at, some of y'all gonna be mad at me, but this is a true story, right? It was a dude at one of my jobs, and that was his job, was to stand up DEI. So he got hired already, and he started getting paychecks. And it was to stand up DEI. It took him like 4 months to like have an idea about what to do, with it. So he was getting paid for like 4 months.
Right.
And then when he got an idea, all it really was monthly multicultural events. That was like literally his job, So when I'm at home and I'm talking to my wife, my question was that, and not on him, he's a good dude, a great dude. But my question is like, was that like a worthy, even position to even give somebody or whatever? Like, I don't know. That's just my opinion. Because there's 2 sides to every coin. You know what I mean?
I mean, you kind of touched on it. I mean, but DEI in and of itself started a movement, so to speak. And when I say that, I'm saying it along the lens of, okay, you started with this, but it kind of connected to the equal opportunities and the CCS, right? So the command climate specialist, the equal opportunity officer, they fed into it. They ensured that things were happening at their level. Whenever you have the DOC survey at the command, when the CO's getting that feedback or the triads getting that feedback, were you prepared for that feedback? Was it something that you knew was coming, or was it something that you fostered because of the type of environment that it was in, right? So all of these things work on a grander scale, but I look at it from the lens of, I had an old administrative officer that used to tell us, hey man, when y'all submitting these awards, y'all submitting the same people over and over again. You're a chief petty officer now, man. Go into the mess, talk to the mess, and ensure that, you guys are spreading the love across the different divisions. Yeah. And, deck department might not get recognized like the engineers, or engineers might not get recognized like admin, right? So how do we do that, right? To ensure that everybody's getting the love equally across the board. We as chief petty officers now have to train the other chiefs, because some of them are old, some of them are new, some of them have their own ways of doing things, to ensure that, we're sharing the means of how people are getting promoted, or the means of how people are getting recognized, right? Because at the end of the day, it's kind of not fair if deck department wins all the awards. You know what I'm saying? Like, end of the year, sailor of the year, you see a grand sweep of deck department winning junior sailor, senior sailor, and blue jacket of the year. Like, come on, man. Like, where's the diversity amongst this group, right? Where are the other departments being recognized, right? Where are the other sailors being recognized? So, DEI, in a sense, kind of started a movement, but with the equal opportunity, we always had the means of, or the metrics of, making sure that we were taking care of our sailors.
Yeah. And this person, hold on real quick. Go ahead. This dude just so happened to be, so just for the listeners, right? I'm not talking about him because he was DEI. He just so happened to be DEI. The premise to my story is that I just don't know what the fuck he was doing there for like a year, right? But another thing before I shut up, because I know Damon got something to say, is at that same job, it was people there, like I was working in DC, it was people there that lived in Montana. And they had to beg these people like to come to the office sometimes. Like, no, please. Like, we need you here to come to the office today.
Was this like, during COVID or after COVID?
After COVID. What? Yeah, it's after COVID.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was hard, bro. That's like pulling a tooth that ain't gonna move.
Yeah, like, yo, like, we need you, man. Like, we let you know.
The roots have grown on that tooth. You're not pulling it out, bro.
Yeah. What you had, Damon?
No, I had something real quick, man. Coby said something, man, and it fucking sparked something in me, man, when he said, that the admin officer, sent them in the mess and spread the wealth and things like that with the wars and stuff. And man, probably for the last, I will say, almost 10 years, man, I feel like every mess I go to, I have to be one of those people that go in there and say, it's not about really my sailor. If your sailor is better than my sailor, your sailor is better than my sailor. Right? Period. I'm not there to I'm there to put my sailor in the fight, but at the same time, I'm also a chief.
Right.
And I think we lose that. When you brought that up, man, it kind of sparked me. Like, every mess, I'm talking about, like, every time I go in there, we put names on the board and I have to be like, shit, man, that sailor kicking some ass over here, man. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, so yeah, my sailor is not better than that sailor. So I say, hold off on my sailor. You know what I mean? Like, right. I'm doing that everywhere. That goes back to the training piece and what we doing, right, in the mess and stuff. So you said that and kind of, brung up that, man.
Yeah. So, and even with these like layoffs, right? I saw a story about a dude. He did like four tours in Iraq, 20 years in the army, 4 tours in Iraq. 2 tours in Iraq, 2 tours in Afghanistan, and he got fired. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's just a lot, man. It's just, these are the kind of people that, that we losing.
Right.
Another thing that's been whistling around the workplace is the Deferred Resignation, program. And Deferred Resignation now, a couple like small details on that is, so that was offered by OPM, that's the Office of Personnel Management. It's getting a lot of attention. Especially as like DOD is going through like the hiring freezes and restructuring. But it's a voluntary option for eligible federal employees to resign at a later date. The date that we're talking about for deferred resignation right now is September 30th, 2025. They get full pay benefits during the transition period without a daily workload, and they exempt from the in-person work requirements, right? So, hey,
right.
I want to resign. I could put it, and not all of them, not everybody that put this in is getting approved for this either. And it's also over. It's done. You can't do it no more. I think the timeline was over like the 13th of February or something like that. So you can't even put the request in. February 6th is when it was finished. So you can't even put the request in no more. But yeah, so it's, hey, I want to get out. I want to protect my my personal life as I'm getting out versus being rocked to the core with some surprise news. But that's another one that's been, man, like we've been getting submission after submission. I'm like, damn, this person. So that's another one that's been rocking us to the core too, y'all.
Yeah. I like this one though, man, a little bit, right? In a way that you know what's going on. You know that something possibly could happen. Why not get ahead of it a little bit?
Yeah.
You know, but at the same time, you got some people that's been, working from home a long time. That's kind of their life now too, though. You know what I mean? That's kind of how they've been doing it for so long. So, this will give them some time to maybe find something else,
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of see, because shit happening. You know what I mean? You don't know.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know. Like, it can happen to you too.
Yeah. Some people. Yeah. Yeah, I'm probably gonna come back to this like 8 times this episode, man. Some people out here fraud, waste, abusing with this, wasting and using this money, And y'all know it. Hey, some of y'all, some of y'all know.
Hey, man, it go back to what we said when we first got into the Navy, and we kept hearing on the mess decks: choose your rate, choose your fate. Right? We can't hate on these people because they getting their hustle on and they handing out towels at MWR, getting paid $100K a year, and we busting our butts doing the exact same thing, working way higher level type stuff, and not getting paid as much. So
that's true.
I can't be mad at them, man.
If you working from home, I just want you to return my email within 3 hours after I hit you up. Else I got questions, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got some questions for you.
I got questions too. I want you guys to know you working from home, man. Dodge looking for your ass, man.
They coming for you. NORTHCOM is in charge of, and this, we ain't sticking on this, just a real quick. It's so much shit going on. It's a couple quick hitters. NORTHCOM, protecting U.S. borders. They got pushed over to the borders. That was a EO from the president. And I'm already seeing IAs fly out trying to get people. They staffing up the area. They getting people for that. Recruiting numbers, like we said, they good right now. Recruit numbers are good.
Mm-hmm.
It got to be true. I saw Captain Jervy put it out. It got to be true. I saw CNO. I saw a former CNO put it out. It got to be true. Employee program, right? We've been supposed to talk about employee for the long. You know anything about this, Coby?
What do you mean? Expound upon it for me.
The employee program. Have you heard that name before? Employee. Okay.
No.
So we've been supposed to talk about this for the longest. I got a couple notes on it. I'm going to go through a couple of the notes. So employee stands for expedited, medically limited, out of commission, personnel leveraging for operational yield. Navy, man, we ain't got an acronym. Everything, man. That's about 20.
Right. Like, that's a lot.
Got a 25-word acronym.
Man, come on, man.
Expedited, medically limited, out of commission personnel leveraging for operational yield. And all this really is, and I'm going to have links and all that if y'all want to look all this up. This really is doing like a pre-med board without doing a med board to get orders that you could do with whatever your medical condition is without you having to be medically separated from the Navy.
Pretty much permanent shore duty. You know what I mean? Like you may have some medical, you're great, you're good at your job, you kicking ass, but you got some medical shit that you can't go on ships, you can't do none of that stuff. So your medical provider can say, hey, you good to go, you can do this, you can do that, and you can probably go on shore duty and stay there for a hot minute. But you got to.
So they have.
Stuff. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say critical shore gaps, like critical billets.
Yes.
Right. So they have, especially on the civilian side, but more so, but also on the military side, they have RA, which is reasonable accommodation, right? So we will reasonably accommodate you based on the medical professional's opinion, right? Mm-hmm. So right now, what leaders are having to do, and again, this is in the guidance that's coming down from SecDef and DOD, is they have to now go back to the doctors and say, hey, the the level of efficiency and the product that you're getting from this particular civilian or military personnel is going to have to be done at the member's residence or away from a work type environment, right? And again, all of this has to be litigated through not only the doctor, but the doctor then has to give it to the lawyers, and then the lawyers have to approve it, and then DOD, or if they delegate it down to a lower level, has to sign off on it. So to break it down in microcosm for them sailors out there that are listening, when you go get that SIQ shit from Doc and you bring it back to the command, that's a recommendation. That is not, hey, you going to hit your rack, I'll see you tomorrow. That's a recommendation. The CO has the authority to say, nope, I need you. You're in a critical billet. You get my ship underway. You're going to be there. You're going to get the ship underway, and then you can go to your rack. So it's a lot of things that, people have to understand. But they call that the reasonable accommodation. So it sounds similar to what you're talking about as far as the employ program, but yeah.
Yeah, I knew a couple of people on reasonable accommodation too, man. Hey, I knew a couple of y'all, playing basketball on the weekend.
Right.
A couple more things. So, right, retention over a couple more things about employee, right? Retention over separation, right? So allows non-deployable sellers to continue meaningful service rather than being referred to DES, right?
Right.
Continuity of medical care fills critical short gaps. So here's the eligibility criteria, just so because it's not a bad thing. So I want the listeners to know: active duty RTAR, any rate R rank. But remember, it's critical billets and it's still a pilot program, and not everybody getting selected for this, right? Clinically stable condition. So you must have a positive medical prognosis for a minimum of 2 years. It doesn't interfere with whatever your medical limitations are, can't interfere with whatever they need you to do on shore duty. It's voluntary participation. You must choose to participate, but then you need a command endorsement from your CO, kind of like what Coby was just getting at. And then step by step, nominated. So that's initiated by the medical provider. And then it gets reviewed by your medical evaluation board approval authority and a convening authority. Then it's assessment. So the CO get notified to complete an employee candidate assessment form. Detailers and career counselors provide guidance on available shore opportunities. PERS 454, they review all the materials. That's the medical nomination, the assessment form, and the billet availability. And then you get a deployable category code assigned to you. That's called a DCAT. And then assignment and retention. So you get assigned to a non-deployable billet for 2 years. And you get reassessed, and say reassessed after each tour. I saw somewhere where it said you get reassessed like every 15 months. And that's pretty much employee. It's a whole lot more stuff. So just look into it, because I'm not going to get too deep into employee. It's a whole lot, but just look into it. It seems like a pretty valuable program. It does not provide an easy exit from sea duty. And sellers assigned to employee do not block traditional shore duty opportunities for those rotating to shore duty. The program focuses on stable sellers who can meet shore duty requirements. So that's employee.
Nice.
So another thing that I think is cool is these VA benefits, right? So a little bit more explaining. So VA benefits, right? The recent expansion of GI Bill benefits from the VA could significantly impact you, especially if you serve multiple periods of active duty. So multiple periods of service. If you completed at least 2 separate periods of active duty, one qualifying you for Montgomery GI and another for post 9/11, you may now be eligible for up to 48 months of combined education benefits, right? It's crazy because it's another thing like flex spending flex spending, which I feel like we should talk about, because I think March 1st is when the application dates start, but I don't got no notes on it right now, but it's dope. Look into flex spending, get some training on it. You can hit me up offline. I built a PowerPoint for my command. I can send it to you, but I didn't put that anywhere. And that's really dope. Honestly, it can help. It can help with child
flex. You said flex
FSA,
spending?
yeah, FSA, yeah. Flex spending. It can help with like childcare, different medical things that normally certain things won't pay for, stuff like that. All right, back to this GI thing, right? So the VA extended the expiration dates for utilizing additional benefits. To take advantage, you must apply by October 1st. Retroactive benefits, right? So if you already use your 36 months of benefits under the GI Bill program, the policy change allows you to access an additional 12 months under the other program. For instance, if you used all your post 9/11 GI benefits, you might now be eligible for 12 more months under Montgomery GI Bill. So for instance, let's take me I've been in 17 years, it'll be 18 years next month. And I use post 9/11 GI. I have an opportunity to be eligible for Montgomery GI now. And an enlistment period, for the people that don't know, is really just a period between the times that you re-enlist. So if you get separated and then you re-enlist. So that's multiple enlistment periods depending on how many times you re-enlist. So that's a good another good benefit that's like kind of being offered up there. Y'all got thoughts, opinions on that?
Yeah, I'll let you know how it go for me, because I'm most definitely gonna apply for it. 'Cause I already used mine up, my 36. So now I'm gonna put in for that, and I'll be just, look into it and see if it works for me and see if I'm eligible for it. I'm not sure yet.
So you still using TA or no?
No, I was using I used the GI I gave to my wife a long time ago.
Right.
Right. So now I'm gonna see, can I I already got my master's, so I haven't went on in maybe like a couple of years now, but a year and a half now. So I haven't used TA, but I can still use TA though.
Right. What about you, Don?
I used TA when I was in college. I got a bachelor's degree though. All these chiefs and master chiefs got master's degrees, man. I gotta catch up, man. They just catching these, man. I gotta get them while they hot still.
Nah, bro. I mean, both of y'all been through SCA, right?
Yeah.
I think so.
Sure.
Yeah, obviously. So yeah, I think that SCA carries more weight than a bachelor's right now in our time, right? Because you get a lot of, obviously you guys know this, you get a lot of credits for going to SCA, and they push you back into the school environment, right? So I think that if you had a bachelor's and you haven't gone to SCA, it's going to be hard for you to compete with your peers when it comes to promotion. But if you go to SCA and you're working on your bachelor's, then it's a little bit different.
Yeah. See, I'm thinking about when I transition out, I'm thinking about, what's next? Man, I don't got time for school right now. I don't have time for school. I'm supposed to be doing an episode with Aaron about Black history, man. And Aaron gave me a whole curriculum. You know what I mean? And Aaron, listen, so I already told him this. Like, he gave me I gotta study the curriculum. Aaron, like, yo, whenever you ready, bro. It ain't gonna be Black History Month when we do this episode. I tell y'all that. Because it's a whole, because between the editing, the pod, like Tisha and them just did a women's episode yesterday.
Right.
I gotta edit that. And that was about women's health. Alana hosted it and stuff like that. This episode got to get edited. We got clips. I don't got time for no damn college degree, man. You know what I mean? Like, but I'm gonna have to get one. I was telling myself, like, damn, I might have to wait till I get out to get the degree. And when I get out, Damon, we potting every day, man. It's gonna be 5 days a week.
Yeah, man.
I'm getting out before Damon too, Coby. I already know that.
Oh,
Damon,
word?
yeah, Damon gonna be one of them 40. They gonna have to push him out.
One of them old Christian Master Chiefs.
They gonna have to announce it. They gonna have to get him out.
Man.
we gonna be mourning the loss of Damon in 8 more years. You know what I mean?
Top snipe.
Oh shit,
man.
The Truman Collision. Not gonna get into that. Just y'all. Just be. It wasn't nothing like no fatalities, no real damage or nothing like that. Just my point of view. I don't know what Damon think, because you're on a carrier. But mine is just be careful out there, y'all. We gotta be careful out there.
Yeah, man, be careful, man. But at the same time, man, them boys, they was back flying in no time, man. So it wasn't serious. I thought it was crazy serious. Like, oh shit, and they had these little people talking about it on our ship. Like, oh shit, y'all. Then all of a sudden, man, they back there flying and everything, man. So it could have been too bad.
It was a fatality of a career.
Yeah, that did.
The CO got relieved.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But yeah, that's what. Only the CO? It was just the CO?
That's what I saw.
That's
so
what
far.
I saw too.
So far.
Yeah.
Okay. Another Navy news thing before we get into like some of our shit, which we kind of did the episode a little different. Another Navy news thing is the P33 And again, that was an initiative from the CNO, but a part of that is retention efforts. Hey Navy, look, man, I'm not happy with P33, y'all. I'm gonna just say that, and I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm doing it, but I'm not happy with it because all it is pretty much. And if you would listen to this pod enough, you know I don't like stuff like this. What's the other thing I don't like? It's another thing I don't like. It got to do with like stress, where we making sure our damn, I forgot what it was. Matter of fact, it's on
is H. Hold up.
No,
HFC.
way too many acronyms.
Human factor.
Human factors. Yep. Yeah. You know, I don't like human factors because you telling me to care about my people. I don't want you to tell. Like if my shoe untied and I see my shoe untied already, and I reach down and tie it, and you tell me my shoe untied, my shoe is gonna stay untied. I'm not tying my shoe down. You know what I mean? So you tell me to take care of my people. Now I'm still gonna take care. I'm not gonna stop taking care of my people. But yeah, so P33, right? It's pretty much that's all it is, Coby. If you haven't heard of it, hey, you got X amount of sellers with X amount of time left on their billets that have not re-enlisted or said what their Navy intentions are. Chain of commands, engage with your sellers about their Navy careers, let your CPPAs know, and your career counselors, and then let them plug your sellers' intentions into this database so that the Navy knows that you engaged with your sellers. I don't like that.
Isn't that the job of the career counselors?
The job of the career counselors, and I would think that SELs would already know that shit. You know what I mean? So when the shit came out to us, to my command, and they sent me the list of my guys, I'm like, I already know all their intentions. I don't even got to talk to them. We just talked about this like last week.
Right.
You know, so for me, I get it. I understand it. I'm not like saying I hate it or I don't want to do it, but I don't like it, y'all. Yeah, we supposed to be taking care of ourselves.
Yeah. And I agree with everything Dumbo just said, but this to me, this is shit we've been doing for a long time anyway, right?
Right.
But the other part of it is they send it to the detail and say for example, this sailor don't want to, like he said, hey, I'm not, if I can't get this location or this billet, I'm gonna get out. Now you send that to the detailer. Now the detailer may try to help them out. It ain't guaranteed, but the detailer for retention purposes may try to help that sailor out. I think that's the difference, right, Damo?
Show me the money, baby.
Yeah.
Show me the money.
Yeah.
I mean, it is. And I mean, I guess some people not engaging with like, that's another aspect too. Like some people not engaging with their sellers. Like they don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
That shit, it's just, but another thing, Coby, they want you to do is convince your seller to stay in. That's the big initiative. They want you to convince your seller to stay Navy.
And man, easier said than done, especially in the times we're in right now, bro.
Yeah, so, not everybody. That's not in everybody's like personal, like that ain't in everybody's personal principle package to convince people. Like for instance, for me, personally, that's not in my principal package to be convincing people to stay in if they want to get out. Mine is helping them do whatever it is they want to do. That's where that's my core value. It's helping people do whatever it is that they want to do. Now the Navy want me to do something different. Okay, got you. But personally for me, I've never been a like proponent of mine to be like, yo, what you mean you want to get out? Unless it's that seller that kind of iffy. That's when it personally for me been like, all right, well, here go the benefits of, staying in, what you thinking about when you get out, stuff like that. I think me and Damon talk about that a lot on this pod.
Yeah, I think the main crux of that is it's not about convincing, like you said, not about convincing your sailor to stay in, but showing them all the options, right? Mm-hmm. Because the moment that you show them all the options that they have, now you're giving them, a bigger plate to eat from. Whereas if you're all about, hey, nope, you got to stay in. I'm not going to tell you about how good it is over here in the civilian sector. I'm not going to allow you to go to TAP class. Nah, that's when you start to limit them. And it's just like, Adam and Eve, right? You can't eat from over here. But I ain't gonna start preaching. But you can't eat from over here. You got to stay over here, right? Yep. Eventually, them sailors gonna be like, nah, bro, I want to go over here where you keep telling me I can't go, right? Mm-hmm. So, 100%. You got to be able to make sure that they understand everything when it comes to that crossroad.
Yeah, and support them all throughout.
100%.
Did you get hit with that P33 shit, Damon?
Oh yeah, we talk about it every day, man. Like it's like,
bro. Every time you say that, I feel like I'm watching Blue Street, man. Cut that out, man. Like, yeah. When Martin was talking about the P33 guns and stuff, man. Like, come on, man. We have to give everything an acronym, man.
Everything. Employee is the longest acronym I've ever heard. Hey, Damon. So you've been doing a CMC, gig for a little bit, right?
Yeah, man. So shit, man. Let me get into this, man. So I've been for probably almost 2 months, man. I say almost 2 months, man. My CMC got a little procedure done. We was coming in to come 2X. So they say, hey man, you got it. Right. So for one, let me get shouts out to the engineering department, for the DC community, man, all my guys, because without them, I wouldn't have been able to do this freaking whole CMC thing for almost 2 months, because I still have a job of training ship, right? So for them 100%. taking on a bigger load in the DC division, hey, thank you guys for that. But man, let me tell you some takeaways, man. So I had some takeaways of doing this. My first takeaway was, as a leader, I'm always thinking about, most of the time, enlisted sailors. Right? What they doing, career paths, and this and that. Officers is more like, hey, your career path, let me help you out. Let me get you on your way. Let me lead the best I know how, blah, 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 right? That's kind of my thing when it comes to the officer. Hey, man, when I was CMC, acting CMC, it was damn near the same number of officers in the office with small problems and issues as enlisted. That's one of my biggest takeaways. I was always stuck on all these enlisted sailors coming in. No, officers have, things that's going on also. So that was one of my biggest takeaways, man. And then a couple more, man. All these programs that I take for granted sometimes, man. Yeah. Right? Oh my goodness, man. Like Epic, DRC, freaking, man, these programs are huge. I don't really think about them until something's going on. You know what I mean? But these programs is huge in the CMC community. Ombudsmen, huge in the CMC community.
Yes, sir.
All these things like that, man, I kind of like took. Even the fun stuff, like you got on carriage, you got fun balls, you got fit balls. All this stuff, man, huge for the sailors and things they do, man. So stuff I used to take for granted, man. I wanted to give those shots out. Then all the First Class Association, SEA, the CSAD, all this stuff, man. Hey, they are really, it's sailors out there that really want to do good, man.
Correct.
And sometimes we really lose that because we got 10% of the crew acting our ass over here. So we forget all these great sailors out there that's kicking fucking ass, man. So big shots out to all the sailors, man. And Dumbo, that was kind of like my takeaway from being the CMC. And also to the mess, man, like stood right behind me, man. Like the day when I ain't been on board. I ain't been on board a year yet, right? They could have been like, oh man, why he doing this job? Why he get the opportunity? None of that happened. Not one time, man. They got right behind me. 20-some Master Chiefs, freaking, I don't care how many Senior Chiefs, and over probably 200 altogether, man. They got right behind me. And I feel like we kicked some ass out there, man. So shouts out to everybody, man.
Yeah, that was my favorite part about acting CMC on the carrier, was how, that was the impressive part. And it was a little surprising to me. Because remember, I wasn't on the carrier for a long time, just kind of like you. But when I was acting CMC, and the amount of support that I had from all the master, and remember, I was a senior chief. The amount of, I am a senior chief. But the amount of support I had from all the master chiefs and all the mess, they embraced it. A couple people, probably couldn't be me. So let me support you as much as I can. But then the rest of the people was just there, like anything, man. One time I needed chairs, bro. And my supply master chief, he bent over backwards to give me chairs. And this was super last minute, you know what I mean? So, and that might sound like a small thing, man, but needing chairs on a carrier that's in the yards, man, it ain't the smallest thing in the world. You know what I mean? You need 200 chairs or something like that. You know?
Ain't nothing smaller than carrier, bro.
Yeah. And somebody else needed our chairs. And it was all our chairs are gone. It sounds so small, in the Navy, right? But another ship wanted to borrow 200 chairs. So it's hey, don't nobody got to. You're going to have to ask 3 different departments to get these 200 chairs. And one of the master chiefs was I got you, bro. I'm going to get the chairs for you. Boom, 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 get it done for you. Boom. He's you got way more stuff to worry about. So, because I'm running around the whole carrier trying to get chairs, bro.
Real, man.
Yeah. No, Damo knows this, man. Like you hit it, Damon. You got to have that requisite knowledge of every facet of being a CMC when you fill in that position, and that's why you have to go through. I think it's one of the I know for a fact it's one of the line items in your PQS when you're going up for SCA, senior enlisted leader at the command senior chief level and the command master chief level, because of the fact that if you don't understand or have an understanding of it, then how are you going to roll? Yeah. You know, be in that position, right? Mm-hmm. You've been looking with a blind eye at Ombudsmen and not knowing the importance of it. When you've been looking at a blind eye at CSAT and all these other command responsibilities, and you don't know the importance of it. So I would say to that, it's important for anybody E8 and above to get a look behind that lens. On the admin side of the house, we know it because we working with CMC and helping the triad every day with it. But for the snipes and for the aircraft handlers, all these other rates, they don't get to look behind that curtain all the time. So it's important that they know and they understand. And to you saying that everybody got behind you, they got behind you, but for the Masties, it probably just, hey man, ain't doing that. It's a lot.
Oh, yeah.
That's a lot. Go ahead, throw the junior guy in there. He got it.
Yeah,
we get behind them.
100%.
It is a lot, bro. You talking about your phone ringing all times of the night, bro. This thing blow up when you rolling in that job, bro.
Yeah, man.
And when you think about, and it's a couple of things to think about, bro. It's like somebody told me before that, like, you kind of go to the meetings that you want to go to and stuff like that. But somebody told me, they was like, hey, the kicker is when people want you at the meetings. And I ain't really understand that until very recently. Like, I understood it, but I kind of didn't until very recently. Now that, like, damn near every meeting, somebody is saying, yo, you gonna be that? You gonna be at that? Because it's like, yo, they want me there. They know I'm going to have something to say that might be of value, or just it's some information in there that might be of value to me. The other piece I want to add, Damon, before you keep going, is remember, that's CMC on a ship. And that's, to me, CMC on a ship is depending on like the command you at, like a carrier, that's the big leagues, right? It's other commands, like I would say Pax River is the big leagues. It's a multi-operational command. It got aircraft taking off, you got security and stuff like that. But me, I'm a command senior chief at a small installation. And one of the things I want to talk about with like, even though small, I mean, like the Naval Academy is still one of our tenants. But one of the things I want to talk about when it comes to small installations is like, now, not only do you got to know the programs and stuff like that, you got to have that rapport with your CDC. You got to have that rapport with your fire station. You got to have that rapport with your Fleet and Family Service Center. What's going on at the gym? Yep. What's going on? What's the relationship between you and your tenant command SELs? Is it a clinic on your base? What's the relationship with you and your tenant? So it's for the listeners, it's a really good experience. It's fire. And honestly, it's one of them things, and I know you got a lot more, but it's one of them things that's really what you make it. Like every CMC, every SEL, they're going to have a different flavor. And actually, Mike Carbone, Coby, was telling me this, when he first got to the Naval Academy, everybody not going to focus on the same thing. Nah. They not, but it's like what spin are you going to put on it? What you going to prioritize, and what flavor you going to give it? The next person it's one of the true jobs where you really ain't worried about the person that you relieved or the person that's relieving you, because they gonna have their own little special sauce to that. So
100%.
Yeah. Hey man, then like when you said that demo about people want you to come to everything, man, I feel like that's what, because I'm a people's person, man. Right? Like, mother, you pass by the CMC office, man, I'm throwing my hands up at you. Like, what's going on? Come on in here. What you been up to today? Right? So people always want me to be like, hey, can you come to this? Can you come to that? And man, let me tell you, every time I step in there, man, it seemed like, and if I can give that back every time, I'm okay with that. People light up when I step up in the room and they be like, oh shit. And they was calling me CMC. I try to correct them. Like, I'm acting CMC.
They're going to call you CMC.
They call me CMC. And I'm coming in there, man, and the rooms light up. Right? That's enough for me. Right? And Dumbo said I'm going to do 40 years. Like, stuff like that make me think about shit like that, Dumbo.
Yeah, you're going to do
But, 40 a long time, though, bro. 40. But, hey, The other thing I want to throw out here, man, that when it comes to the CMC thing, man, was consistency, man. We always talk about consistency in leadership. I feel like that is one of the most important things, man, to being a CMC is being consistent. Like every time somebody come talk to me or say anything to me, I got a consistent approach. You know what you're going to get out of me, right? You know I'm going to give you maximum effort. Like on whatever the situation is, I'm going to try my best anyway to give you maximum effort. And then when you in there, you got my attention, right? I'm not all over the place. I'm not over here. No, it's me, it's you. You got my consistent. So I wanted to like throw that word out there because we always talk about it, Dumbo and Coby. And every time we talk about leadership, the word consistency is always in there. What do you guys think about the word consistency when it comes to leadership?
Go ahead, Coby.
So yeah, for me, man, I try to stray away from that word specifically. There will be a proponent of your leadership's skill set that's in your tool bag that says, yep, I got to be consistent on one thing. But every sailor is different. And we know that, right? So every situation, every circumstance, every sailor is different. You know, it's like snow, right? Every shape is different. So you have to be able to tailor your leadership for and towards that person based on one, especially if you're speaking from the CMC level, the input that's given from your chiefs, right? I think we touched about it in the previous podcast. When that DRB goes down, the chiefs better be standing up there just like them sailors are, right? Because the chiefs of that sailor are telling me, they're giving me the holistic picture, right? I'm not in the engineering room with them every day. I'm not on the flight deck with them every day. I may know them because I see them and I have that rapport with them, but you got to be able to give me that insight, right? So me being a person that says, nope, if you come to DRB, you're going to go up and see the old man every time because you messed up to get to that point. Nope, everybody's different, right? Damo touched on it a second ago. If somebody is salvageable, let's work towards that. But if it's time for you to go, then it's time for you to go. Let's work towards that as well, right? It's a process either way. So yes, consistency is a great metric, but how you use that, it weighs a lot when it comes to taking care of sailors.
Yeah. Hey, for the listeners, I just want to real quick highlight the fact that Coby decided to wear a DD 214 shirt today.
It's my disclaimer, bruh. I ain't got to say nothing.
It was intentional, y'all.
I ain't got to hold nothing.
Message.
For me, consistency. So I share, like both of y'all got, like I agree with everything both of y'all was saying. So for me, it's a couple things, since I agree with everything both of y'all were saying, it's a couple things that I try to stay consistent on. And that's valuing people, right? I try to keep consistent on how I value people and value everybody the same. But kind of like Coby said, like not everybody is the same. And everybody don't take to even that the same. Like everybody, like my personality or the way I might value people or consider people, everybody don't take that the same. So you got to adjust to how they receive too, right? So that's another thing. But the other thing that I think, and as you know, people continue, and it's still developing in me. And I'm interested in what some of the other CMCs think about this, because I'm catching myself doing it now. Is kind of circling everything back to the command philosophies and my philosophies. Right, bringing everything back to what. So my philosophy. We talked about it a couple episodes ago. It's like the CARE philosophy, which unfortunately is an acronym too, right? But circling everything back to like the pillars of that, right? Contribute,
right?
Ask, be rooted in reality, and enhance. Like bringing everything back to the pillars of my philosophy, and then bringing everything back to the pillars of our commands philosophy, which stewardship and security, and service to the community is like the three things that we kind of do, right? So it's like, as it's easier to do this on a ship, Damon, because you got a crest, you got You got your ESWAS program where they go over all of that stuff and you can always circle back to it. But I feel like, like at my command in particular, well, I always got to circle back to our philosophies and what we actually stand for as a command. Because we represent that too. And Paul was bringing that up when he was saying like,
right.
Damn, I forgot what happened. I forgot what Paul was saying about like the mess compared to the command. So I try to stay consistent in that. And just other shit. Like it's things that like I don't even know about myself that people tell me like based off observation and stuff like that about myself and where they think I care and shit like that. And also just staying firm, man. Just staying firm with whoever. Like I'm gonna have the same conversation like with my junior sellers, like as far as expectations that I'm gonna have with my chiefs. And honestly, with my chiefs, it might be a little harsher than it is with the junior sellers because the expectations is more expectations. So hopefully I answered that question. Consistency is just staying true to me, man.
Yeah. Hey, so I got a little ethical question, man, for you guys, man. So first I'm gonna tell you the little backstory on it. The backstory on it is we do discussions on board. So on the carrier, man, we got at least 10 other CMCs on board that from CAG into, all the squadrons and things like that. So
Right.
on Sundays, if we on the way, they come down and we go through we talk about stuff, right?
Yeah.
And one of the CMC who was talking, and I'm not gonna say the answer or anything like that, but one of the questions was talking about the blue jacket of the quarter, them winning the blue jacket of the quarter, but then become under investigation. Now, with that being said, the results haven't came out.
Yeah.
The under investigation portion, just become, and it seems like it's substantial. You know what I mean? What's going on? What do you do?
What did y'all come up with? What all them CMCs came up with, dog?
Look at them stalling for time, bro.
Yeah, you said a bunch of CMCs. What they figured out?
What they figured out? First, and that's for all the CMCs or whoever leadership positions, man. What do you guys think about that? But I'm gonna tell you, be honest, man. I'm gonna tell you what I said. And now this is nothing. First off, this didn't happen to me, so I just want to throw this out there.
Yeah.
But I think if they're under investigation, man, I think you're taking a chance by making them the blue jacket, right? I think it's a chance you're taking. Now, if it was already out, I don't think I'd take it away from them, but it's not out. No one knows about it, right? I do think I will. Then I'm gonna be honest with you, man, because I'm finna put this face on the. You finna be the face of the ship for at least a quarter, right? Yeah. So I have to think about that. And you know what? I ain't even gonna give you guys the answer because I don't know, but. I'm really gonna think about that real hard because the results are not out. Depending on what's going on with the investigation, depending on what it is, right? I will hate, and then it depends on they won by a couple points. You know what I mean? I don't know, man. I think all that stuff matters in the decision making of it, but that's a hard decision, man. And I won't put that on nobody, but.
I don't think it's a right or wrong answer. I think it's an answer depending on like your morals, your principles, and what you want to stand on with your command. Like, what do you care about, like the perception of the command and what you want to stand on? Because there's two ways that this could go. So honestly, like my command, we actually been through something like this, like very recently with multiple sellers of like every single category. Okay, blue jacket, junior seller, and seller, right? We actually been through this where a board was done and we actually been through this. I don't even want to get into that. I mean, what we did was we just pushed the boards back till after the fucking, like we just discontinued the boards until after the whole NJP process was over. But it was some other stuff too entailed in that because Simeo had questions and this person, how come this person could go up, but this person? It's just a lot of shit. But I think the answer lies in what you could stand on when it comes to the perception from your crew and stuff like that, right? So it's it's kind of like a balancing act, bro, because if somebody earned the blue jacket of the quarter, and they won it already, and then they get held accountable. So, and again, I'm not saying where I lean, but let's say they get held accountable for whatever they get held accountable for. Now, some people got it where they don't want this person to be some people's priority base might be, all right, I don't want this person face to be plastered, across the command because of what it represents, right? That we got people that's doing things, that's winning things. Somebody else might say, hey, they were held accountable for whatever it is that they did, and it shouldn't be reflected here because it wasn't a prerequisite here. And we also, I think I confused myself a little bit, and we also are champions of change and sellers, because the DRB and the NJP is all meant to like help the seller at the end, right? So if we start saying, all right, we're not helping the seller, we holding everything against the seller, then what are we actually doing? So I think it depends on how the person look at it. But honestly, it's another part of it too, where it's like, if it's an ongoing case, like right here in the moment, that shit gonna shake up the ship if you announce that the person that's going through some NJP shit is the seller of the, quarter. You might just give it to the runner-up. You know what I mean? Because all of them deserved it. You know what I mean? All of them deserved it at that time. But then if you going through some shit, if you did the fallacy, it's so layered, bro. If you did the fallacy in the quarter that you get in seller of the quarter for, you wasn't really the seller of the quarter, weren't you? You know what I mean? You did some wild shit in that
Allegedly.
quarter. We just figuring it out. You know what I mean? But I would wait. No matter what, I would wait till everything play out to either. And no, it's nobody putting a timeline on when that shit get announced or nothing like that. That's my scattered thoughts on that.
But when you're rolling over into the next quarter, then you backed against the wall. But for me, I'll preface it with this: like, you can't please everybody, right? At the level of CMC, you're going to have to make a lot of decisions that it's going to rub some of the mess the wrong way and some of the mess the right way. But at the end of the day, you got to stand on business with whatever decision you make. So in saying that, every single year in the Chief Petty Officers board, there is a Chief Petty Officer, a first class that's held up for Chief Petty Officer at MPC because of the fact that they either have legal, medical, or some other type of situation going on, right? And then now it comes to the command to say, hey, are you going to clear this person from whatever legal stuff they got going on, this red flag that popped up in their record? Or are you going to just turn this quota in and nope, this person will remain a first-class petty officer? The command then has to take their time to make the decision to ensure this person is either promoted to chief petty officer or not. And, I've seen this situation before where, you give this person, sailor of the quarter, or you give this person this map quota that, that they deserve, like you said, but you in turn find out later that either the person was guilty or innocent, right? The good thing is at the command level is if you were to award that sailor of the quarter, because of the fact that, again, it's alleged, you don't have any solid evidence, it hadn't been adjudicated yet, and you give it to them, you can absolutely take it back from them. There's nothing that says that you can't. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes in the sailor's eyes, due process is what they want to see, right? If you're holding somebody guilty when they're not even guilty, then who are you as a leader, right? And then the other side of that is, are you holding them accountable now that you did find that they were guilty? Are you taking that back? Are you putting them in front? Are you having that open mass? You know what I'm saying? It's rare that you see that, but are you having that open mass to say, hey, we realize we made this person a sailor of the quarter, the face of the command at their level, but we now have to take this back in that same merit, right? So each situation is different again. But for me as a CMC and as a leader, if I have a lot of alleged, unless it's a huge preponderance of evidence, I'm going to go forward with what the board said, the board president. They brought me, even if that person was 1 point ahead, that person won. I'm going to award that person that. And then if later on down the line they say, nope, this person is guilty, then I'm going to take it back in that same strand.
You know what's also... Oh, go ahead, Demo.
No, I was just going to say, it's different. It's multiple ways you could go, man.
Yeah, right. It is, man. But what's good about this whole thing, too, is that I'm not sitting in a room or a CMC or a command CN-chief sitting in the room and making that decision by themselves, right? So you got multiple people that can help make that decision anyway. Plus you got the triad. You got a lot of people there that's going to help make that decision too. It ain't just you.
Yeah, and I think in those kind of decisions too. This is my own personal thought. I think we could do a better job at communicating the whys,
right?
About why things happen. But like you said, at the end of the day, nobody in your scenario, like nobody actually knows yet who the person is because it ain't get announced. So that's an easy, easy.
Yeah, it didn't get announced though. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, maybe if they listen to the pod.
Yeah.
This is just a joke. I don't know if it's current, like right now happening.
Nah. Well, I hope not.
So you said this was just a scenario.
Yeah,
right?
Just a scenario. Yeah, and CMCs we was talking about stuff.
Yeah,
it's a training team environment.
Yeah, what did the cadre of CMCs come up with?
Same thing. Like same thing we kind of talk about. Like same thing. Like when you said, "Hey, haven't came out yet," that came up. One also said, like Coby said, "Hey, hold the line." Like they want it, and then so all those scenarios played out, man. Which is, man, if you could get something like that happening, man, with all them CMCs, man, all that experience in there, man, like it's regardless of situations, man, you'd be like, it's a lot of freaking different ways to what we use. I ain't gonna use that word, like we used back in Mississippi. Like
don't use it. I can tell.
Don't Mississippi slang, bro.
When you say Mississippi,
you trying to get
I ain't gonna use that word, but there's a lot of ways. It's a lot of ways. A lot of ways you can figure it out, man. Oh man. So hey man, Dumbo, I got this question, man, that I want to ask, but I may want to save it. I want to know your thoughts on it. It's this sailor came to me with this question about leading young Black sailors, right? Now he wants to come on the pod and talk about this. So I don't know. But
he listens to the pod?
Yeah, he listens to the pod.
What you want to come on the pod for, man?
Yeah, and he brings this question up because, of course, he's a white guy, man, and they be on his ass, man. You know what I mean? So he wants to lead them, and he feels like they are, like, let's see what word you look at. Not necessarily, they just don't care about what he has to say as a leader. They don't care. Like he thinks it. My only take I told him is like, first off, you got to do your job. Like, right? So I don't even look at it as like black, white, blue, green. Just do your thing, man. Yeah. Like if they don't listen, you hold them accountable. If they not, you this and that. And he's like, sometimes I guess they like try to gang up on him. He try to get advice from me. I'm like, shit. I'm telling him some real shit though, man. I pulled him to the side and I said, hey man, first thing you got to do, like I said, man, you got to do your job, right? And doing your job is holding people accountable, right? That's it, man. At the end of the day, you should have, like, I wouldn't go talking about things. And this is how I'm saying it. I wouldn't even be going like announcing this. I know you're trying to pull me to the side and talk to me about it, and because you listen to the podcast or whatever the case may be. But at the same time, man, just hold them accountable. Yeah. Right? If they doing some crazy stuff or they doing whatever, they not listening, they not counseling shit. How they gonna fix themselves and move on? Right? I don't know. See, that's my only dilemma with it, Dumbo. He brought up the question to me, but I don't know why he was trying to go to that. Yeah. Okay, go ahead. What you got?
Yo, so it's crazy. Shout out to Mr. Davis. And it's funny because I definitely didn't have to do this with him, but when he first came to the command, like I put him on like a regimen of like movies to watch. Like I had to watch like Paid in Full. What's the J with LL when he was God or whatever? LL Omar Epps. Damn.
Shit.
In Too Deep. I think In Too Deep, was it? In Too Deep. It was a couple movies like that. I just had him watch them like, yo, like this was a classic here, this was a classic here. But yo, for the young seller, you don't got to do nothing like that. You know what I mean? You don't got to put yourself on no regiment. All you need to do, it's going to sound just like what you said, Damon. Just lead. Just lead. Be as good of a leader that you could be, as good of a leader that you could be. And your sellers are going to flock. I had mad leaders that ain't look like me, ain't talk like me, ain't act like me, and they still inspire me, bro. And that is that D word we used to be able to use, you know what I mean? But that's like what makes that whole part of it special and impactful, you know? And that's where you really connect with them. You're not going to connect with nobody by trying to get on their level, like trying to slide in and, be on their level. Like, yo, I just, I was watching the Kendrick pop out, like nah, like just do you, be you, lead and care about your people. Just care about them, right? Just care about them. I think that starts everything is care. That's why that's my philosophy, of course, right? Care, lead, and you will be fine. You don't need to relate to them. They don't need to relate to you on a personal level, but then connect on a person. I connect with everybody on a person. We all got lives, right? We all got something. We all had an experience. We all went to some type of school. We all got something in our life that we could connect with people on. So what if, they wasn't watching The Wire back when you was watching The Wire? So what if they not watching Erica Mena new dating show on Zeus? You know what I mean? How else can I connect with these people or whatever? Let's connect. I'm the command senior chief of my command. I'm watching Erica Mena dating show. You know what I mean? But that don't stop me from connecting with my sailors. I'm watching Pop the Balloon and Baddies and Jocelyn's Cat, all the fucking ratchet reality TV. I be watching it. You know what I mean? But that don't stop me from relating or connecting with my sailors, man. Just lead and care. That's it.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
Yeah. I agree, man. Hey, and then
Coby, what about Coby? I'm interested in Coby.
Nah, the only thing I add to that is, when you got the opportunities to show up for your sailor, show up. That would be my advice to him or her. You may feel a certain type of way, but if you got that board that you need to be in there fighting behind the scenes for your sailor, man, show up. Because that reverberates all throughout the division, all throughout the department, all throughout the command. And you winning behind the scenes. For your sailors, it'll help out immensely. So everything that you just said, but adding on to that, just show up. The moment that you don't show up, then no matter how you are leading, you will fail because of the fact that you didn't show up at the right time.
No, that's the one, Coby. Yeah. Like that's the one. Like that's the one. And when the moment calls, you better be there.
Right.
And that shit changes everything.
Yeah. And then on top of that too is the fact of, if you one of those sailors that's everything is about work, what are you teaching these guys? When are they going to learn something? It's all a circle, right? Like what a knowledge piece going to come in? What are your training going to come in at? All this stuff matters. It's okay to, we're going to get this job done. We're going to get this job done. But what the sailors going to get out of it at the end of the day, right? They want to get knowledge. They want to get ranked. They want to get time off. All that stuff matters, right? When being a leader. So you got to do all that stuff also, not just go in there and demand stuff out of them 24/7 and not giving anything back. So that's something else to think.
And share your story, man. Not the compound, but share your story, because everybody's Siri trying to say something. Everybody is interested in your story. It don't matter that it's not their story. It don't I think everybody got an interest in somebody else's experience, man. So share it, It's going to be different than theirs. It's going to be cool as hell. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, just be you, man.
Yeah, most definitely, man. So, Coby, I almost got it. They wanted to jump me on the ship, man. They almost got me. All the love I give them, man, they almost got me, man. So we out there on Com2X, man, and we was going through this phase where Wi-Fi went down for like 4 days.
Oh,
man.
wow.
Like 4 days, couldn't connect with the families, no internet, no nothing, man. Everything, we out there trying to be, can't see us out there, right? So, Look, Damo, CMC office on the carrier, man. These jokers, they out there hanging out now, man. Like they putting up stuff out there, they hanging out in front of the CMC office and everything. So I come out there like, what's going on? So what they doing was they searching for Wi-Fi. So they thought CMC office had some special Wi-Fi or something there, man. Like, so I'm like out there talking to them, like, man, I ain't got no Wi-Fi. We just trying to make sure CMC got no. Yeah. But standing by the office, I'm like, man, y'all get away from here, man. Like, they was out there trying to get you, boy, man, out there, man. On the mess deck streets, man. No Wi-Fi. But yeah, man, but before I get out here and talk about, we done talking about my CMC experience, man, I want to say, hey, I had a good time, man.
Yeah.
So another one of the reasons why, Coby, that I got selected to do that was I did put a package in. So that was one of those things where you say, okay, this is going to be an experience. But man, that was a hell of an experience, man. 5,000 or 6,000 motherfuckers, man. A whole lot of experience, man. But I loved it, man. I got a real good vibe, a good feeling. And then the other thing was, man, is that I got one thing I learned was getting a good seem like I got the counts down when it comes to what I'm doing every day. It took me a whole week, man. Like, no shit, to get like every day what I'm doing every day as a CMC. Like, when it comes to like schedule. Man, my schedule is so different from being a CMC and being a damage controlman. And I feel like once I got the schedule side of it down, everything was way more smoother for me, like where I need to be at. Because, and look, I ain't gonna lie, man, there's some stuff that was happening at CMC that I didn't even know that happens. Right? We talking about coffee times. We talking about dinners with the CO. All this stuff that I didn't know none of all that stuff was happening. I was like, what is all this? And then like your whole schedule is like printed out, put on your desk for you. You know what I mean? So I understand why now all that stuff happens though.
Yeah. That's a CMC. You know what I mean? That ain't no damn command scene. That's a CMC schedule.
You know what I mean? Like, but to be honest with you, man, at first I'd be like, my hater glasses always come on. But when you sit there, you're like, okay, I know why this shit happens now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Having that open communication with the XO and the CO is like huge when it comes to CMC, man. It's like, so all that stuff that happens, I kind of understand it a whole lot better now.
Cause don't you ain't it an assistant on the carrier? Like right outside the CMC's office is like a secretary?
Secretary, yeah. Secretary.
So you ever heard of this? It's like a TikTok page. It's called Burden Boys Production. You ever heard of that?
No, I haven't.
For real?
I haven't heard it.
You should check it out.
It's funny as shit.
They be on the Nimitz, bro.
Wow. I probably seen some of their stuff.
Yeah,
nah.
Yeah, they be wilding, bro. They said they all out the Navy now, though. I think it's like old videos, but they be doing crazy stuff. They be like smoking on the flight deck with the planes landed. They be doing all types of stuff on this
Burden Boy Production.
Yeah. But they said they all out. Yo, hey, Burden Boy, if y'all not all out, man, I'm sorry. I ain't need to switch. But y'all said y'all all out. I made sure of that before I shouted y'all out. But they showing some of what they showing is things that sellers do, like in the barracks, and not in the barracks, in the burden and stuff like that. They showing what the same shit we used to do back when we was junior sellers and the burdens and stuff like that.
Cutting hair.
Yeah, all types. They boxing with boxing gloves and all types of shit. They wilding. But yeah, Burden Boys Productions, man. They keep me entertained, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm gonna get them. I'm gonna look them up.
He said, I'm gonna get him.
I don't like that. I'm gonna drop a dime on it.
Yeah, man. Shit,
I don't like them out of towners, boy.
Oh, shit, man. Man, let's get into this Super Bowl, man. I gotta talk a little bit about it, man.
Lord.
I gotta talk a little bit about it, man. And I'm coming from a place of love, man. This coming from a place of love. Because I talked to Dumbo about it. Me and Dumbo haven't even talked about it because I've been gone, so a whole lot been going on. But when the start of the season, I don't think anybody could have told me that the Philadelphia Eagles winning the Super Bowl. I just didn't see that happening, man. So with that being said, man, that team grew, during the season. They came out victorious, of course. But I'm a hater. Right. Mm-hmm. And I just don't, I think they won and done for one. They had a good season. But with all the stuff between the receiver and the quarter, then none of that matter at the end of the day, man. Them boys still found a way to make it. You know some friction there, Dumbo. You agree with the friction that was happening?
Yeah.
It was some friction, but them boys still like came together and won the Super Bowl, man. So it's hard to hate on them, man. But I did want them to win because I most definitely didn't want fucking KC to win again.
What you mean by one and done? That's all I'm sticking to. Like, what you?
That's all he took out of that.
Yeah. Because 49ers gonna be back.
Gang,
you know what I mean? We had a lot of injuries, man. We had a lot of injuries. So we gonna be back next year. We're gonna be back in the forefront of this thing. So don't worry about it, Niner fan. Bang bang. Don't worry about nothing, man. We'll be back. But Philly had a good year, man. I can't take nothing from them, man.
This was the Eagles' third visit to the Super Bowl in how many years?
Message?
But 5? I think 49ers got 3 and 5 too, something like that. But
no, 7. It's 7 years. It ain't 5. It's 7. We won the Super Bowl 7 years ago.
Yeah.
How many did y'all win in the last 7?
Yeah.
I'm just asking. I really don't know. You know, I don't really watch football, Damon.
Yeah, I know.
How many did y'all win in the last 7? How many did y'all win in the last 7? Because United geared up. You got shirt. I told y'all he looked like a D coordinator right now.
Yeah, but I always go back to how many we won total. So I don't never necessarily think about 7 years or anything like that.
Everybody ain't been alive.
But last 7 benefits to Philly. Last 7 benefits Philly, right?
Yeah. But look at the division they came out of, man. Like, come on, man.
You can't claim championships back when milk used to cost 25 cents, bro. Like, I'm sorry. When they used to deliver milk to the house, you can't claim championships from back then, dog. You can't.
Come on, man.
You can't.
Come on, man.
You can't.
Hey, egg prices is different today than they was yesterday. I say that.
Back when eggs used to cost, 10 cents. Eggs about $15 now, baby.
Gas was 59 cents. You know what
I mean? No, the Eagles did good. The Eagles, they destroyed that team.
Man.
We ain't really talk about it that much. It was man, like everybody said about the ass. That's what most people was saying. I really didn't like the Chiefs. I hate it. I hate to see them. Like, I have hatred in my soul when I see certain people from the Chiefs, especially Andy Reid, and he was the Eagles coach, and I love Andy Reid, but I hate him in that Chiefs gear. We put about the ass up until like late third quarter. I still was giving the Chiefs a chance.
Me too, man.
Like, look who they got over there. You know what I mean? But we was imposing on that offensive line, really, and we had Mahomes looking real fragile out there and afraid. That defense kicked it up, man. So, yeah, I thought it was good. And they did what they were supposed to do. They tried to, stop Saquon, and they did a good job at limiting Saquon, which opened it up for everything else. But in my opinion, the defense won that game.
Yeah, defense won the game. No doubt about that, man. Oh, boy did his thing, though. He did his thing. I feel like if you crazy enough to, because that the KC defensive coordinator is known for blitzing, right? He blitz and he sent him. If you blitz a quarterback like that, man, like, you got to be sound, because he ain't like Lamar. Like, Lamar, quick twitch and all that stuff. This dude runs, he find a hole and run, right? I feel like sometimes Lamar, like, his ability is so good to run the ball that we already know he's running, But old Hurst, he sit back there in that pocket. He wait till that lane open. Once it opens, he runs. You know what I mean? I think that delay is huge.
Yeah, and the Eagles ain't blitzed once on Mahomes, right? Not one blitz.
You ain't have to, man. Them boys was getting on his ass, man. Them 4D linemen was
they was pushing him back, pushing that line, that offensive line back, man, every time.
Yeah, man.
That shit was bad, bro. Like, they ain't cross like the 50-yard line until
whole first half, I think.
Yeah,
like
whole
shit. Yeah, it's crazy, man. They was on Mahomes' ass, bro.
Yeah, that was.
All right, the referees couldn't save him, man.
Yeah, no, the refs couldn't do nothing. It seemed like in the very beginning they tried something like the first.
They tried. Yeah, when they called my man for the catch.
Oh,
and they saw offensive pass interference.
Yeah, that pass interference call.
Yeah.
And it was bad, man. It was bad. So shout out to the Eagles. We wanted to go to the parade and all that. We didn't. Heard it was crazy out there. That was Valentine's Day, I think, though. That was the day after Valentine's Day. I forgot what day that was. Shout out to the Philly. Shout out to everybody. Happy Eagles did a great job. Boom. I don't want to leave the Super Bowl without asking y'all about y'all's opinions, because we haven't talked about this yet. So I think it is kind of cool. What was y'all opinions on the halftime show?
I'm gonna tell you, yeah, man, I liked it. You know, I liked the show. I liked the message. I liked everything. And, you know, Kendrick is Kendrick. You know, he did his thing. But I am a fan. I would have liked to see a lot more New Orleans there. Because in New Orleans. Not that Kendrick didn't deserve. It was Kendrick's show, bro. At halftime was Kendrick.
Yeah.
That was Kendrick's
show. So you
show,
talk about during the halftime show, right?
During the halftime show, yeah.
Okay, all right.
During the halftime show. Nothing against Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar was amazing. He did his thing. I'm just saying I would have liked to see more New Orleans there. And that's me. And a lot of it is me being from Mississippi, and I grew up on, Master P and freaking Cash Money and all that. Nothing, like I said, nothing to do with it.
Which we could debate a little bit though. Which New Orleans artists do you think would have been able to do the Super Bowl?
I think Lil Wayne could have did the Super Bowl.
For real? You think so?
I think Lil Wayne could have did the Super Bowl.
Bro. I don't think so.
I think Lil Wayne. I think it's a mixture, right? I don't think you just come out there with Lil Wayne because New Orleans got. I even think put Master P them out there. Let him hit a couple songs out there, man. I don't care, shit.
Yeah.
But I just wish I would have. Even if it was them just coming out, which I knew it wasn't going to happen with all the shit that was happening before the Super Bowl. Once they found out about Kendrick, I knew it wasn't going to happen. But I would have liked to see him featured in there, or something. I don't know.
Yeah, somebody bet me. I ain't gonna say who it was. They bet me that Lil Wayne was gonna come out, and I bet against that.
I knew he wasn't coming out.
They owe me now.
He was salty, man.
Yeah, Wayne was salty, and Kendrick is petty. Kendrick is petty. And I don't think Kendrick was ever gonna bring Wayne out. I don't think Wayne would have gave a good performance. I don't think Wayne would have been a good Super Bowl performer. I never had Wayne. I got Wayne in my list of the best rappers who had some of the best runs and some best lyricists ever. I never had Wayne in my category of best performers. I never had Wayne able to perform at us. I could count on one hand hip hop artists that could perform a Super Bowl, and Kendrick is on that hand. Kendrick is one of a few who could do that. He might be top 3 when it comes to performances. He might be the only solo hip hop act that could do that. As far as running 183 yards up and down the field without losing his breath. He did a lot there that I give him credit for. My opinion on it was when it first started, Damon, the first song was an unknown song. It was the Tiramisu song that nobody really heard. We just heard a snippet of it. And as soon as I heard it, I was like, oh shit. And Kendrick, he does that a lot when he does performances. He do an unreleased record or something. Or he add to the song. So I'm like, damn, he doing a song nobody heard at the Super Bowl. I was like, man, that's bold, right? So that was my first initial thought. Then my second thought was, I can't hear this shit. That was my second thought. So then I got frustrated with the mics and the audio. I didn't blame Kendrick for this. I got frustrated with the audio. I'm like, yo, I can't hear him. And then somebody was explaining to me the Superdome acoustics and all this, but I was just frustrated with that. So by the time it got to, and then I think the performance picked up midway after Squabble Up and all that. But by the time it got to the midway, I was just so frustrated with the way the audio sounded in the beginning that a lot of the performance wasn't resonating with me. Like what Samuel Jackson was saying, a lot of it wasn't resonating with me on the watch in the house until it got to till SZA came on, and then I got it. I had to go back and and at the end of it, I liked it the first time, but I was disappointed with the sound engineering. I went back and rewatched it. It's the only Super Bowl performance that I probably watched already 5 times. I went back and rewatched it multiple times. I really appreciate everything that he did in the story that he went to tell in that performance. And I understand every choice that he made as a hip hop act. And I'm happy that he was the first rapper to perform at a Super Bowl because he did some rapper shit where rap is always, it's a counterculture. It's not the norm. It's not what you expect. It's not the person going out there doing all their hits. It's being a rebel to whatever that system is. And he did exactly that. And I think he's the only rapper that would have sacrificed whatever it is that you sacrifice to do something like that. So I got to give Kendrick his, anybody else would have just did their hits. Do the hits, play the hits. I got to give Kendrick his kind of respect for his choices in that halftime show. What about you, Coby?
He probably had like one or two that wasn't a hit though.
Right. They at the end of the day, they still he a Double Diamond song and Humble. He did All the Stars. He did a bunch of hits, but what he did do was songs from the new album, and people had issues with that. People wanted to hear some songs that, some of the more bona fide Good Kid, Mad City, some more stuff. People wanted to hear We Gonna Be All Right. People, there's other songs people wanted to hear, but I actually like what he did, and we see what it's doing for him right now. He got 3 albums in the top 10. He got 3 singles in the top 10. Numbers skyrocketing. The first hip hop act ever to do over 100 million on Spotify in a month. The first hip hop act ever to have a double diamond record. The first hip hop act, I think, ever to have 3 albums in the top 10 on Spotify. Right now he competing with himself.
Yeah, so for me, first of all, shout out to Jay-Z, because Jay-Z is the person that was designated by the NFL to get the talent for the last 2-3 Super Bowls, right? Because he got Usher.
Yeah, it's like the last 5.
Yeah. So Jay-Z is the one that's putting these people in these positions, man. And for me, the takeaway for me, like you said, watching it multiple times and even seeing it on social media, is the number of subliminal messages that was in his content, man. From something as simple as the fact that Serena used to date Drake. A lot of people didn't know that, and SZA used to date Drake. You know what I'm saying? He brought both of them in and during his performance. So, and then just some of the things as far as, him singing that song, They Not Like Us, when he was told not to, or, he crossed the line by doing it, breaking those norms, and then some of the things that Samuel Jackson was saying and him playing Uncle Sam, you know what I'm saying? There's so many subliminal messages that were carried out through that Super Bowl, even in the current state that we're in with, the political landscape, I'll say, some of those messages were in there. He has this one song, I think it's like Woke Up Looking for the Broccoli or something like that.
Yeah.
That song is developed from songs. Did you guys know that? So every song is a title, every word is a title of a song. You know what I'm saying? If you go back in there and look at it, if not, I'll send you guys that reel. But the dude is hella talented. You're right. He's one of the top performers that could have done it and pulled it off the way he did. It sucks that the sound was the way it was at the beginning, but from what I heard and from the behind the scenes that I saw, when they hit that A minor, the whole stadium said that, you know what I'm saying? And that's a movement, man. So no matter your culture, black, white, indifferent, whatever, everybody was able to vibe to that. So shout out to him.
Yeah.
In no way he wasn't playing that song.
Oh no, yeah, he was.
He kept hitting on it, and I think he was worried about Drake's lawyers. And I'm just like, come on, man, do what you do.
Yeah, and that's what I love about the Kendrick thing. Damon, I know we talked about the beef quite a few times, but what I love about Kendrick is that the mystique, right? He ain't never talking. You never hear how he feel.
Yeah.
He put it all into the music. Even a little pre-interview he did with Apple, you could tell he ain't really want to be there. It's an obligation, I think,
Right.
But he's just going to put it in the music, And on the other side, you get more of the emotional responses and the reactions and the memes. And Kendrick just putting it on the music. And it don't matter what the critics say afterward. It don't seem like he adjusting what he do for the critics. He just doing it. You know what I mean? So I do like that. And I know we don't want to revisit, that debate we had a while ago, who won the beef, who was winning the beef. Man.
Hey, man, I'm going to tell you, man, most definitely Kendrick won the
At this
battle.
Point, he's buried,
absolutely. 100%.
He dug out the grave, buried.
But you know what though, man? I still respect Drake though.
I respect the lawsuit, bro.
Sometimes look, I got you. And he probably could have shut that shit down. But that's probably not even him. That's somebody probably trying to get some money. Everybody trying to squeeze, man.
Him, bro.
But I don't know. But I know he ain't doing it because he need the money, So, but the other thing was, man, and you made me lose my train of thought, man. I was just thinking about that. I respect Drake. No, I respect Drake because how many artists out there would even try Kendrick? Well, even like go back, you know what I mean? We know Kendrick, what he could do. Everybody knew. Like, if you start this battle before it even happened, you put Kendrick there and Drake there, I'd be like, man, what Drake doing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm saying. But even for him to put some effort into it, and he did his best, man.
Yeah. Drake just dropped the album, him and Party. And I like that. Like, some people don't like the album. I like the album, you know? Yeah. I want to meet your padre. like Drake be tripping, yo. But hey, I like the album, though.
Drake made good music, though. Don't get it too. He made good music.
He'll continue to make good music. You just can't be filing lawsuits from beef tracks. Like,
yeah, man.
I disagree with that. My man, like, yeah, but he called him a pedophile. That was a rap battle, bro. Like, we not, you know.
Everything goes.
And another point while we talking about this shit is people keep saying Kendrick lied about the daughter, but Drake saying he fed him false information. So did he take false information or did he lie? You know, that's all I'm going to leave that right there. So we had a guest on our last episode, Damon. You wasn't here for it. 2K Kenny. Dope episode. I loved it, honestly. Got some really good feedback from it. I'm a little sour because we couldn't have a video for it. So I hope some of our clips did that episode justice. But one of the things he mentioned, and I realized that my audio was kind of bad in this part. So you couldn't hear my tone when we were having a conversation. But he mentioned a part about playing a game. And he was talking about his naval career and how he don't feel like he could play the game. Well, he couldn't find the words. And I said the words. I said, I said, he's trying to say playing the game. But the way the cut like sounds, and I think it's because this app we're using. So if y'all hear some issues with like words that don't sound right, it's because it's app. But you don't hear me say he's trying to say playing the game. So I want to come back and first off kind of make sure that that's what y'all know that I said. But I also want to ask the question about to y'all about what do y'all feel like playing the game mean? And then do y'all agree that that's a tactic that you have to use to be successful in your career?
Ooh, that's a good one, Dumbo.
So real quick, expound upon playing the game. What you mean by that?
All right. So I know everybody got their own definition of what they think playing the game is. And that's kind of what I want to know from y'all. But when I hear people talk about playing the game, I think that all right, so let me just go first. I don't agree that you got to play a game in the military. I never did it. I never subscribed to it. I just was me and I performed like myself and I showed up like myself every single day. That's me.
Mm-hmm.
I think some people think that you got to acquiesce to some standard in order to succeed in the Navy. And in my opinion, I think it downgrades the efforts of the people that never had to. Because I don't think you have to. I've always been me. If I had to go at it with a certain like CO or XO or CMC or whatever, I mean, you've been there, Damon. Like, you know, like going through it with the CMC over the rice cooker. You know what I mean? Like, you know, and I got more stories than that. But if I had to stand my ground, I stood my ground. And now we got a bigger theme that we could talk about that we kind of been talking about this episode about that, but I don't even want to get into that part about it. But because some aspects now, I can see where playing the game might be relevant for some people and higher aspects of whatever they consider that military career to be. But I got a question about that later. But for me, that's what I always looked at. Like people thought when they said playing a game, like not being yourself to like be successful. I never did that. So I disagree that has to be done to be successful.
I got a couple things about it, man. Playing the game. One is I'm always gonna be true to me, true to myself and what I'm doing. But the playing the game to me, Dumbo, I'm gonna give you an example. Is like and I'm gonna give you a DC, you know, my training aspect of playing the game. I had this one time we was running this drill inside the space, man, and my drill package says, hey, you know, get an adductor and do it like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
I had one guy down there that took we call it the whiz bang that's in the space.
Yeah, the whiz bang.
And he tried to use it to educt the space. And then I'm like, hey, my drill package says run it like this, man. You need to play the freaking game.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or what my drill, because if you only go as drill package, that means I failed, not as briefed and all this stuff, right?
Yeah,
so that's when I come to saying playing the game. Like that's one example. I mean, I play the game. You got to do it like this. Now, would I use a whiz bang if I had to? Maybe if it's a real situation, that's the quickest thing I can get to, but it's not it's not in my drill package, right? The second thing was, is it worth it? Some people use that as playing the game. Like if I get into a situation and if I win or lose doesn't mean anything, I might be like, all right, man, whatever, man. Go ahead and do whatever, right? I don't care. It is not that big of a deal to me. Now, if it affecting sailors, it's affecting things like this or what I believe in, that's different. But it's like something that don't really matter. It's all right, man, I play your game or whatever. Okay, whatever. Right? That's kind of what I mean by playing the game. But never would I put what I believe in and say, okay, I'll play the game with you, man. I'm not going to put myself in that position.
Like you got to kiss ass to make rank.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what most people when they say we're playing a game, that's what they think. Like, or you have to do these collaterals, or you have to fill these checks in the boxes and all that to get to where you need to go.
And Demo, with that being said, man, and this is, Coby, this is one of those things where I always say, man, right now in 2025, you only got to do a little bit to be successful, man. That's coming to work, doing your job, taking care of sailors. Okay, come up with a good ideal every now and then too, right?
Right.
You good to go, man. Like you don't have to do all this extra stuff. The only problem coming in with all these collateral duties is because nobody else want to freaking do it and the job still have to be done.
Right.
Right? Like, that's why if you see somebody out there with 3 collateral, it's not because they want 3 collaterals.
Yeah.
It's because y'all motherfuckers don't want to do
3.
that.
I had 3.
You know?
Wanted 3.
So, yeah. Real talk, man.
You should never, ever have to compromise yourself, man. That's the main thing, right? You know, your people are always watching you. Sailors are always watching you, man. And never, ever compromise yourself, man. Like, if you feel like something's not right, then address it, say it, move on. But at least you said your piece, right? And be comfortable with that. But the moment you start compromising yourself or playing the game, so to speak, then you've given up leverage and your people won't respect you for it. So, yeah, the status quo is the status quo. It is what it is. But at the end of the day, you got to do what's best for you and your people.
Yeah. I guess in that same vein, then my question would be, do y'all think that people, and I'm thinking about leadership and I'm thinking like at our more higher levels, how often do y'all think it's people that's choosing money over personal morals? Like money and professional goals over personal morals and principles?
Ooh. Yeah, I mean, we know it's happening. It happens all the time, but oh man, that's a tough one, Domo, because
in the military, it might happen every 4 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it might happen every 4 years. It's a shift in focus, a shift in belief, depending on whoever is the president. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I also think, man, if you would dig a little deep, man, sometimes people put stuff to the side also, you know, for their family, right? They thinking about getting to the money, getting stuff like that, making it personal. So I know it happens, right? Sometimes you may not, you know, say something, right? Because of how it affect something else. You know what I mean? So that's the thing. That's the judgment call that you have to make when it says talking about playing the game also. Like, do you want to, like, and it all depends. So many avenues you can go with this. You know, it most definitely depends on people's livelihoods. If you're talking about affecting sailors and affecting yourself and affecting family, you start talking stuff like that, that's going to come into the decision you make on anything. Like, what is it affecting? So
because we had John Cordell on a pod a while ago, and he said, he posted on his LinkedIn, so it's public. He said his wife told him to chill. Remember what John was talking about on the pod, David, like about everything he was talking about. He said his wife told him chill. She was like crying. Like she was worried about him losing his career, bro. So.
Over what he was talking about on the pod?
Not our pod, just period. Like just who he is, like just some of the foundational things he talked about, period.
Oh, okay.
But some of that stuff he was talking about on our pod.
Right.
Yeah, man. Crazy.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on that, Coby, though?
I mean, you got to be able to stand on what you stand on. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy. Like, when I told my wife I was doing the pod this morning, she was like, don't get in trouble. You know what I'm saying? And with the political landscape we're in, you know, people talking about DEI or the president or whatever it may be, you know, you're going to stand on what you stand on. Now, that being said, you're going to be able to walk that line without being disrespectful or without demeaning the process or demeaning other people, because, you know, that's the purpose of a podcast, so that people can see it, hear it, consume it, understand it, and then regurgitate it in whatever fashion, whether that be feedback or, you know, whether that mean they going to act out or you go viral because of something that you may have said. But you have to be able to have parse your words and speak on what it is that you want to speak on without demeaning somebody or tearing somebody down or, you know, things of that nature. But you have to have that passion to be able to speak on whatever that subject might be, you know. So, yeah, stand on what it is that you stand on. Be able to articulate and say the things that you need to say. And then be susceptible to feedback and criticism. You know what I'm saying? If you're able to do that and then continue to move on, then you're good.
Yeah, it made me think about, and I think some of that come with age, y'all, because it made me think, it's times where, like, you know, an episode would drop. And so Damon is older than me. That's a fact, right? I ain't even joking. It's not a joke. I ain't even trying to make a joke right now. But, you know, when we first started, even up until like a couple years ago, you know, like we do an episode, we might say something crazy. Somebody might hit us up, you know. And when they hit us up, you know, I'm like worried, like, damn, they hit us up. But then whenever I pass it to David like, all right, you know, tell him hit me up, you know? And now I'm getting to that age where I'm like, yo, tell him hit me up. I don't care. Like, let's talk to me.
Right.
Like, I'm getting you hit a certain age, man. You just, like, you kind of content with yourself. Like, man, I don't care, man. Tell him hit me. But I used to always be like, damn, David don't care, man. He about to, like, you know, yo, tell him talk to me, man. I don't care. Like, our first episode, it was some controversy. Like, the first episode that wasn't even public, just a couple people on the ship. It was some controversy. And I'm like, yo, Damon, such and such called. And like, we worked directly for, and Damon like, all right, well, it is what it is. You know what I mean? It's out. Let him call me, you know? So I'm like, damn. Do y'all think sellers should prep their own packages? I'm talking about mat packages, seller the quarter packages. Yeah, those type of packages.
Hey, I'm not a fan of it.
Yeah, me either.
Right?
Nah.
I'm not a fan of it at all, man. And it's hard too, though. It's hard for these young sailors to come up and do all this stuff, man. So what you want? Yeah, that too.
Make the package, right?
But you know, hey, Dumbo, you know what you say that it's hard for, you know, hey, and let me tell you, man, and this is me personally, man, I know everybody do this thing different and all sales are different. But once I get the formula, man, like, let me win a couple of them, I got a formula that I use, man.
Yep.
And it's not like, I already got the outline.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Or what we want to do. So it ain't that complicated. It's complicated when you making it complicated. We done this stuff for years and years and years and years in the Navy, man. So the people who it's complicated for is because even with evals, man, like we make that complicated. Like it's not that complicated. Right?
Yep.
People been doing the same job. But back to the question, man. Shit.
Prepping their own packages, sellers.
Yeah.
I hate to see it.
I hate to see it. I'm gonna give you an example. I had a chief just did this not too long ago. He asked, he's like, and I'm not a divisional guy, right? I'm the master chief of it, but I'm not, I kind of like mostly training and making sure the ship. And then if I have to step in, I step in, but I have a chief to run that he's a divisional chief. And I hear him one day and they listen to the pod. I am who I am. You know what I mean? But, so he says, like, he tells, hey, I'm looking for your sailor the quarter package. And I don't say nothing, right? I'm sitting there. But afterwards, man, I'm like, I asked him, like, hey, what are you looking for? Right, you know what I mean? I just asked him that question, just to see his thought process, not to correct him. I just want to see his thought process on what he's thinking about. You know, his thing was just so I can get, you know, not that they're going to give me a great product just so I can get started. But then my mindset is like, you already should have something to get started with, man. And it's the same job. Look, I'm talking to everybody. Hey, this is the same job. When you're doing stuff, Sailor the Quarter and all this stuff, this is the same job you've been doing for 20 years too. 15 years. So what are they going to show you? What are they about to, what are they about to get started for you? You know what I mean? Those are my questions that I'm asking that I may not say, but I'm thinking anyway. Like, what the fuck you want them to do? You know what I mean? You already know these answers. You know what I mean? We've been doing the same thing for years. So, Dumbo, I don't like it, man. I'm not a fan of it at all. I feel like if I'm going to do a package, I can get this package done way quicker than me waiting on somebody else to do it and to give me some information, man. So
if anything is I take a brag sheet, if anything. But if I'm a chief, I'm doing my first classes. If I'm the first class, I'm doing my second classes. My second class might be able to mess, and maybe not. It might just be the first class, depending on your divisional situation. You carry or something, you might have your works in the soup, or your second class or something. Do everybody's then pass it. But you're not ever writing your own anything. For me, you're not ever writing your own anything.
So no, I agree with y'all, man. I think I had this disagreement in the mess before, and their argument was, well, how else are they going to learn if they don't do it themselves? And I'm just like, they're going to learn by seeing the chief do it. They're going to learn by seeing the first class do it. And then eventually, as they continue to progress, they'll get into this, right? Don't try to force feed them early and you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not the sailor submitting their package to the CMC. It's the chief submitting that package to the CMC, right? Because you vetted it. Now, it's a difference in the process of, ensuring that they're prepared and ensuring that they're ready to go. There's a piece where they have to, know what the development of the package is, know what the things are that's going to be expected during that board. But nah, they shouldn't be preparing their package. They should be preparing themselves.
Hey, let me add on to that a little bit, Coby. Like, can they be subject matter experts in second class? Let them be that. let them be that. Like, I like the fact that like we took all that ESWAS responsibility away. I kind of like that because let these sailors learn their job and their craft before we 100%. Throw all the rest of this stuff on their plates. You know what I mean? Let them learn. So I'm 100% with you on that, bro.
All right. Let's debate. And we might debate. It depends. Can you fully zip the fleece? Can you zip the fleece up like a turtleneck?
I don't know. Ain't this... Man, you got me. I didn't look this up.
What's the uniform reg say?
I can read the regs and y'all tell me what the regs.
Y'all tell me what the regs. So the reg says this. 3/4, right?
The reg says when wearing as an optional outer garment, the fleece will be worn over the NWU shirt blouse, zipper at least 3/4 of the way, and will include a sewn-on rank tab and slip-on rig. So zippered at least 3/4 of the way. So can you zip it all the way up?
Yeah, because they said at least. So they left you that room of air to go all the way up, because you already know in Norfolk, that snow that they got last week in Norfolk on that waterfront, sit and watch. Oh, that junk gonna go all the way up. I might have that face mask on, that Scully joint. Like, nah, bruh.
Not everybody. Nope. Y'all know not everybody know that, right? Like, it's some people that think that
you gotta stop.
Most you gotta stop.
Right.
That ain't the case. It's a lot of people think. It's a lot of people. People be cold as hell outside. Like, like yo, you can zip it up. I'm gonna clip this. You know what I mean? Because it is. And watch when I clip it. It's gonna be people that disagree. But if you read it, it says it right there. Zipper at least 3/4 of the way. Right. It's people out there. I promise you, it's a chief or two out there. I just gotta fuck with the chiefs. It's a chief or two out there correcting people. Hey, make sure you zip it to the thing. I might have corrected somebody on that a couple. I think that I think it was a time where that was a part of it, but that's when it was like more worn as a liner than anything else. Now that it's like we see people wear that, but I could be wrong about it. But I think that's what had that as a part of the conversation. All right, we on Do Better. Almost done, y'all.
Hey, Dumbo, I want to throw back to that fleece real quick, man. Hey, I got to go out there and get one of them new ones, man.
With the pockets?
They got the pockets. I haven't got one yet, man. God. But them pockets look like they might come in handy, man.
Yeah, it's like a little smooth, like my shit all peasy. Like the one with the pocket, smooth. Like you right about I see people with the pocket and I envy it.
Yeah, man.
That's crazy.
Definitely.
All right, we on do better, y'all.
Better.
We almost done.
Yeah, man. This is my do better, man. Hey, Ombudsman, man. I got a lot of love for you guys now, so I didn't throw 2 shots out for the Ombudsman. Hey, the Ombudsman is not a hotline, man. Man, like Ombudsman they not family counselors. You know what I mean? They not talking about what you should do with doing domestic violence and I can go on and on like parents. And then you guys get me started on this Ombudsman shit, man. Hey, check this out, man. Hey, all you old school retired military, hey, your kid in the military right now, I got it. I understand. I know you know who to call because you done did it for 20, 30 years too. Stop calling the Ombudsman talking about how your kid doing, man. Are you serious right now, man? The Ombudsman is very important, and it's not to check on your kid because he got in trouble. Your kid in trouble, he ain't got no phone because his ass in trouble. That's why he ain't got no phone right now. So calling the Ombudsman is not the way to go, man. Like it's other avenues that you can do, but I just want everybody to know, do better when it comes to using the Ombudsman.
Mine is and you might like this one, Damon, but it's corrosion on ships. Somebody, and I might push this up on the episode or something, but somebody shared me a picture. Oh shit, we got a new hold on, I gotta pause this. We got a new review. We got a new review from somebody. It says, "Thank you for being so consistent with your episodes. We are going through tougher times right now, and we are all trying to navigate the climate of the works while also navigating the Navy. It's hard, but thank y'all for showing up for us and putting quality content. Even the Damo solo episodes." Oh, thanks for the shout out. It's nice to hear your thoughts free range. Maybe it helps you as well. This podcast needs to blow up more, and I'll tell everyone I know about it. Shout out to Cynthia.
That's what's up.
Shout out to Cynthia. Hey, but back to the do better. One of the listeners submitted this. Shout out to you. It's been a while since you submitted. We had guests and all that. Just didn't have time to talk about it. And it's a major issue. But he just wanted to point out about corrosion, and he took multiple pictures, maybe on his ship. Didn't say which ship it was. If you did, I would have said the name of the ship and called that ship to the carpet. It's like, nah, I probably would have. But
I would have.
But he didn't say the name of the ship. But mad corrosion, that's not lost on anybody. I mean, the ship they exposed to the weather all the time. But he was just talking about like packages to like make this better, bro. Like, I wish I could find it all, but he was just talking about like, how do we invest in fixing this shit, bro? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Most definitely, man. I tell you it is different, man, over time too. I don't know if you guys like really noticing it, man. Like, back in the day, I hate to say it, back in the day, man, you go on a pier, the bosun mates out there getting it in. Like if daily, they like daily. I don't see as much as that when I'm walking on the pier like I used to. And not because the bosun mates don't want to do it. Now it's because they putting these packages together, these work packages for other people to come in and do it. Right? And a lot of that has to do with the manning. A lot of that has to do with a whole lot of other things. But I don't know if you guys see that. Now somebody got to pick up a contract. So now that's different. Now is when you go in of veils. Now it's more of like touch-up paint than actually going out there like rolling that thing out and getting it done. So I think it's a lot of things to it. But when it comes like inside the ship, that corrosion shit matters, man, because the cleanliness of the ship matters, because at the end of the day, watertight integrity and things like that matters. And then it only take one time. People say, "Oh, I ain't worried about that. Ain't nothing gonna happen." But remember, man, it's only take one time. Then nobody knows what's gonna happen to Fitzgerald. Then nobody knows what's gonna happen to the Cole. I can go on and on, names all these ships. They didn't know that stuff was gonna happen, but it took one time, man. So
yeah. Matter of fact, let me actually say what he said. It says, "Hello, sir. My do better is to assist the Navy in reducing its costs on maintenance and corrosion. I worked in a shipyard after leaving the military. I found an area where I could affect change, and that was in a corrosion space." Then he shared like, I don't know if y'all gonna be able to see this because it's on my phone. I'm going to hold it up for the viewers and I'm going to hold it up for y'all. But he shared this picture of this crazy pipe.
Oh, man.
This super corroded pipe. And one of the things about it for me is we used to have to do maintenance on like shit that was like, we already knew that it's so corroded that you can't even, like, it's fucking up the maintenance. Like it was like a pump or something that, like, as EM, you got to go grease the pump or whatever, and it's outside. So you already know it's exposed to the weather and it's going to be fucked up and you're not even going to be able to get the check done damn near every time you do it, or you got to get a whole new pump for this super important system it's not going to come in. And so it's a major issue. Yeah, it's a major issue, so we definitely need to do better. Book of the week. Book of the week is The Cure for Burnout. Well, at least that's my book of the week, by Emily Ballesteros. I didn't even ask Coby if he had to do better. I'm going to ask you that after I do my book of the week, just in case you got one. But my book of the week is called The Cure for Burnout. A couple things about it, a couple takeaways is like she talked about understanding burnout is not just about being tired. Emotional, mental, and physical exhaustion caused by prolonged stress, mismatch between your values and your environment. 3 components of burnout: exhaustion, cynicism, and reduced performance, right? So she talked about that. She also talked about the causes of burnout and leadership, high stress roles. Lack of recognition and support was one. Unclear job expectations and limited autonomy was one. Toxic work culture. And then the cure is like reconnecting with a purpose. So identifying what matters most, practicing setting boundaries. And that one, like, I learned a lot about. And I'm going to get into one of the things that I really made sure I did after reading this book. Building support network. It says emphasizing self-compassion, like recognize the need for rest is not weakness. Practical strategies to prevent burnout, small wins, focus on achievable goals each day. Meaningful breaks. Rest doesn't mean laziness. It restores energy. Mindful reflection. Regularly evaluate what's adding value to your life and what isn't. That's a big one. Leadership perspective. You can't pour from an empty cup, right? So take care of yourself and make you a better leader. So and then it's like, how do you recognize you burning out? So what I started to do was I set boundaries. And I've always done it, but so one of the things she talked about was like, if you know that you can't take that phone call, like on Wednesday night, you say that, like, hey, don't call me on my work days. Don't call me at night on my work days. Call me on the weekends or whatever. I can't, and like, let it be known already. Like, yo, I can't do that 2-hour phone call, that 1-hour phone call. But for me, one of the things I made sure I did was I make sure I leave work at a certain time. I told myself I would, and it's times I don't do it, but now I do it way more often than not. I told myself I would do that, and I didn't hold to that when I first got to my command. Now it's like, hey, I'm leaving at 1600. I'm going to get my daughter. Then when I get my daughter, I'm going to compile all, on a good day, because Angeline might listen to this pod and be like, yo, he lying. On a good day, I'm going to compile all of our responsibilities in the first couple hours after I get home, so we got some time on the back end to just relax. Coming from a command where you're doing senior enlisted leader stuff to coming home to a 13-month-old daughter that you got to do a whole lot for and stuff like that, you need that time to reset. And I can't always, my mom, I'm glad she listened to the pod, because I can't talk to my mom the same way I used to talk to her 7 years ago. 8 years ago. Like, I can't every weekend 2 to 3 hour long conversations and all that. I just don't have the time. Even with the pod, I started approaching the pod different. You might not always get the video. You might not always get clips every day, 2 clips. It was one time I was packing 21 clips per episode. Like, you might not get that no more. If you love the pod and you listen to it, then fucking listen to it. It might not be no clips. You know what I'm saying? So that's that when it comes to that. And I think that's important, is to worry about, make sure you're focusing on your burnout. And I recommend that book for everybody. I'll give it like a 4 out of 5.
That's what's up.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to do better, Coby?
Yeah, man. I was thinking about it as y'all were talking, but just doing better it's a 2-part actually. Doing better in the landscape that we're in right now, especially as leaders, because these are some tumultuous times, right? And ignoring it ain't gonna make it go away, right? As with anything. So just being willing to have an understanding without crossing the line. At the end of the day, we're all sworn an oath in the military. So, we know what that line is and we know not to cross that line, but we have to be willing to walk up to the line and say, hey, let's have the discussion. Because your willingness as a leader not to have that discussion is gonna shun away your junior sailors, right? And even the people that you work with, and even after you leave work and you go home with your own family, not being willing to have that discussion because you think what may or may be said is gonna hurt you. When you're starting to cross the line, right? When that enough is enough. But not having the willingness to have that conversation and, be there for your sailors, in the times that we're going through right now, like it's going to be a lot of people that come to work on Monday and be not willing to have a discussion about CNO being fired, or not willing to have a discussion about General Brown being fired from the chairman as the Joint Chiefs, right? But having that conversation and knowing how that can affect you at a micro level, it only makes you better by being willing to do that. And then the second part is you as a person, and whether this is civilian or military, do better in understanding that you're the product. No matter who you are, right? You are the product. People need you. People need you mentally and physically each and every day, right? We're in a time where there's going to be a lot of mental stress. We're in a time where people are going to need to go talk to some of the professional healthcare providers that provide support during these tumultuous times, right? Go do that. We talked about this on the previous pod. Go sit down, talk to that mental counselor, because that'll help you be better by doing that, and having that willingness to go do that. It'll make you a better person, and you having that willingness to understand that you are the product. I talked to a lot of junior chiefs, and I'm just like, hey man, you the chief now. You gotta break some eggs. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, not right now because they're expensive as shit. But you gotta make some enemies, man. You can't please everybody, man. If you going in a mess and you're not saying nothing and you letting your people get ran over, that's your fault, right? We talked about it a little bit earlier. One of the things that the reason why people respect you, Dane, when you go to the mess and people get so excited and the room lights up when you're there, is because you've established that voice in the mess. It ain't because you just walked on board and you showing up and you acting CMC. It's because you've established that by the work that you've done for the snipes that work for you, and the things that you do on a day in, day out basis. Same thing for you, Namo. So, understand that you're the product. Be a better version each and every day, and it'll help immensely.
Yeah. Hey, for the listeners, look, we love y'all, right? We not crash dummies though. Like, I just want to say that. like if you know what we say, you know what we say. We not crash dummies. I'm a senior enlisted leader at my command. David, the Master Chief, he's just filling in for a CMC. He got his CMC packages, so he also is a senior enlisted leader at his command. We ain't crash dummies. We not about to get on here and say how you feel. that ain't what's about to happen. So, but we do want to make sure we still highlight our leaders who served historic, careers in the military,
right,
and stuff like that. Hey, Coby, one thing though is we had you on an episode and you were retiring and preparing for that. Hey,
right.
We had you on this episode just as a host with us. But how you been? Like, just a quick rundown.
Man, it's been a whirlwind, right? So it's almost been a year. It was March of last year that I did the ceremony, and then my official out date was June 1st of last year. And the biggest thing I can tell people is prepare, right? Prepare for that transition. The more prepared you are, the easier it's going to be on the back end. And then two, if you're going into your next career, get that lined up as soon as possible, right? Don't wait. The sooner you do that, the better it's going to look, not only in your bank account, but in your day-to-day lifestyle, right? I know a lot of my brothers and sisters that are retired, that are just living off of their retirement and their VA benefits, which is totally fine, right? But sometimes you want to be able to sustain a different lifestyle. And by getting that second job and going into that second career, it allows you to be able to do that. With the understanding, like you said a second ago, you got to be able to have those boundaries. Like if you're telling your boss, hey, I'm willing to come in and you're negotiating for your job, I'm willing to come in, but I'm going to only work these hours because, I still have a daughter that's in high school and I want to make sure that I'm there for her during this process. So if you're willing to work with me on that, then absolutely 100%. The times that I'm in the office, you have my 100% dedication, but, don't cheat me out of those hours. So, just having that conversation, given the understanding that, things are going to continue to change. And then, me still working, for DOD and working at the Pentagon, I'm still able to reach out and talk to sailors and mentor and things like that. Still reviewing packages, providing feedback, connecting people with different Master Chiefs in the yeoman community. So all those things are still there. Yeah, there's certain things you can or cannot do, but all those things are still there. So I enjoy that.
Yeah.
Good shit.
Hey, before we leave though, Damon, it's one topic that you skipped. And I just want to ask you about it. It was something about like shouting out PTSF for holding it down.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I want to. Hey, man. Yeah, I want to give you guys a shout out, man. Hey, I didn't skip it though, but I just want to say, hey, man, you guys been like the last line came from the reviewer, man, about consistency, man. Like you guys been putting episodes out every week. I ain't been here. You guys know I've been out and about, doing some old Navy shit. But the consistent that you guys been still putting out, I want to thank you guys, you, Tish, also all the guests that you guys have had, everybody. I think that's one thing about it, man. I talk all the time. In order to do something at a level, you got to like doing it. And I feel like everybody with this episode in PTS, we love doing this stuff. That's why it's easy for us to be consistent in doing it, man. So big shouts out to you. But Dumbo did hurt my feelings a little bit, so I can't let him off the hook without saying this, man. So we got a new platform.
I was gonna message you about that. Yo, I was gonna message you about that.
It is, it's Zen Castle. I said, Dumbo, make sure you send it to me. So I go back and I look at my emails. He sent it to me, and he sent it to me as a guest. I ain't do
that. Denise did that, dog. That's
Denise.
How long you've been going, bro. Denise got you as a guest. It's funny because I was going to introduce the episode with you as a guest just because Denise did that shit, bro. Yeah, bro, you're a guest now, dog. It's cool, man. You're a guest, man.
Wow.
It's all right, dog.
Coby, you see how they do me, man.
You've been on the pod for the same amount of time as Coby in the last year, dog. It's cool, baby.
Hey, Coby, see how they do me, man.
Damn, man.
See how they do me, man.
Yeah,
that's
I saw
crazy.
that. I knew you was good. It's funny because you held
out of sight of mind, bro.
You held that, and I was thinking about that. I forgot about it though.
Yeah,
until you started talking, I knew where you was going with it.
Hey, Coby, hey, man. Anytime, brother. Hey.
Oh, man.
You're a great guy, man.
Respect, man.
Hey, anytime, man. Hit us up, man. You can be on the pod, man. I most definitely appreciate it, man. I love hearing you talk, man. Like, it's inspirational. So keep doing what you do, man. I love this stuff, man.
Yeah, shout out.
Respect, man.
Yeah.
No, man. I enjoy doing this with y'all, man. I hate my sister wasn't here today, but I'll shout her a text message after we get off, make sure she good.
She should have came. She's slacking. She just did an episode last night. She should have came back today. I shout out to you though, Coby, because I asked Coby to be on the episode at like 9:20 at night last night. He like, yes, whatever. It was like 9:30 at night. I got a little outro for the day for the listeners. Real quick, leadership isn't about having all the answers. It's about showing up, staying consistent, and adapting when the unexpected happens. From leadership shakeups to personal growth, remember, every challenge is an opportunity to lead better. Stay motivated, stay resilient, and as always, permission to speak freely granted. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other. PTSF.
Mississippi, stand up.
Peace, baby. Talk to y'all later.
All right, bro.